What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Big J of the GHL Sports Talk. We are back with another episode, another installment of the show. Got my boy Kyle Edwards coming in, my co-host as usual. We are finally in the thick of things with the NFL. Week 1's in the book now. The Eagles and Vikings start week 2. Last night. I don't get why. I don't get the NFL schedule, man. I don't get the NFL schedule where they always put the Vikings in primetime and not the freaking Ravens. I don't get it. I think we have like a couple primetime games throughout the season. I think 3 or 4. And I think the one in England against the Titans. But I just don't get why the Vikings always get I don't get why the NFL puts the Vikings on Thursday night. We all go with that narrative how Kirk Cousins doesn't do good in primetime games. Kurt didn't really have a bad game, but it was kind of a slow start in the first, second quarter on both sides of the ball. There was one time where AJ Brown was arguing with Jalen Hurts, asking why he wouldn't get the ball. And I don't have a problem with that because when you're a top tier receiver in the league, if you're not getting the ball, you deserve to get the ball. But obviously, Devontae Smith got more of the touches. It was just kind of a boring, man. I kind of fell asleep during that game, man. And the only reason why I watched that game is because I had Addison and AJ Brown on my team. But as we wait for Kyle to get in, we got a couple of topics we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about. Let me pull up the schedule for y'all. I thought I edited. I'm not sure who is that. I can find that out. Was a good young third. Random equals Maurice Powell. Okay, yeah. For some reason, it doesn't show your name. So, what's going on, Maurice? But as sports fans, we are kind of it's kind of like, I don't know about y'all, but I kind of felt like it was Christmas, man. Waiting, a little kid waiting for the present under the tree. Waiting for a football to start. The NFL tried to tease us with the preseason with 3 games, but as a podcaster, as a sports broadcaster, like when it gets like after the NBA season, or we're like June or July, it's kind of dead with sports. And you got MLB to cover, and then you got NFL free agency to cover. But you want to start getting excitement or content until like the NFL season starts. So there's a lot of stories that happen in week 1. Dobbins. Start off with the Chiefs and Lions. Chiefs didn't have Chris Jones or Travis Kelce. Lions went into Arrowhead, took the W by 1 point, 21-20. I know CJ Sauce Gardner or CJ. He's on the Eagles. CJ something. I forget his name. He's a cornerback for the Lions. It's a 1 point win for the Lions. week 1. Now they're gonna say, "Oh, they didn't have the Kelsey or Jones." Jones wants his money, which is understandable. He's one of like the best D tackles in the league. But there's a lot of plays that even if they still had Kelsey and they had Chris Jones. I mean, there are some players on the offensive side of the ball that even with them two both in the game. Yes, Kelsey is one of the best tight ends in the game. But there's a lot of drop balls by Kadarius Toney, a lot of overthrown balls by Mahomes, and Jared Goff just took advantage of that. It's kind of a slow game to start out. Both sides it was kind of a defensive game. A lot of back and forth, and then I think Toney had like six drop balls, I think, which were catchable balls. No wonder why the Giants cut him because he can't catch nothing. But Mahomes obviously he's gonna back up his receivers. It's all good. Tony's gonna do better. But he made some JV type drop balls. But here we go. Coach Kyra's coming in. What's going on, Kyle?
What's up, man?
Yeah, we're talking about week 1, Lions Chiefs. Just doing the recap. So what was your overall thoughts on the game, man? Week 1, game 1, Thursday night. Did you think? Obviously, you're gonna say, or people gonna say, Kelsey and Jones were obviously there were two big factors that they needed, but I mean, Lions got done at the end of the day. It was 1 point win, but I wanted to win in their books, and I was just saying that even with Kelsey being out and Jones being out doing the contract issues, like I think that game still could have been winnable for them because like there's a lot of drop balls, a lot of by Kadarius Toney. People talk about how Lamar his MVP season when he didn't have all those weapons. Now it's like Mahomes he has Valdez-Scantling, not a top tier receiver. He has who does he have as a receiver? They got away Mecole Hardman. He's on the Jets now, so it's like, had Mahomes willed his team to like winning games with this receiving corps? I don't know, but they're gonna be good with Kelsey when he comes back. But I don't know. I had Scantling on my roster on my fantasy, but he ain't do nothing for me, man. I know it's week 1, it's kind of overreaction, but I don't know. He's not really like a receiver that I rely on for fantasy, But I picked him up for like a late round pick, but
it's. I feel like Mahomes has gotten to the point where I feel that the Chiefs kind of look at it as a situation where they don't think they need to like overextend themselves at the wide receiver position because they feel like as long as you have Kelsey and Mahomes, you can kind of make it work. Yes, unfortunately they didn't have Kelsey in week 1, but I don't know. Some people probably were going to overreact a little bit to it. Toney, it was an opportunity for him to step up in that situation without Kelsey and kind of show the player that the Giants thought he was potentially, but it didn't work there. And the Chiefs kind of assumed they could maybe unlock from him. And he, like you were saying, he had a terrible game. And all the stuff he's doing after the game kind of makes no sense.
Yeah, like deleting his Twitter, like barking at the fans. Like, no wonder why the Giants let you go, man, because you weren't dropping. You weren't a factor. And like when he's probably the number 1 receiver outside of Kelsey that they traded for, or they got, expecting him to be the number 1 and number 2 behind Kelsey. But it's like he dropped some balls that were like wide open in the middle. I think it was the 3rd or 4th quarter. He had like that wide open ball he dropped. Obviously, as a leader like Mahomes, like obviously he's gonna back his cute receiver. Oh, he'll be good. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
We'll see week 5 when he starts dropping more balls, man. We'll see.
Well, it's also gonna be whether or not he's
And I get it. Preseason, he didn't really Tony. I guess to his defense, he wasn't really in training camp that much. He was hurt.
True.
It was a little rust, but I mean, there were some wide open drives. I mean, to be honest, man, I could have caught those balls. I mean, you could have caught them wide open balls, man. Like there were catchable balls, even though you're rust, no rust, man. Like in plays where it was 3rd and 6 when he needed it, he had a post route, hook to the left, wide open in the middle. A catch that maybe Kelsey would make because that's what he does. He's like one of those Gronk tight ends who like runs up the middle, kind of like an Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a post route, like fly route, hook to the left. There was a couple balls that they were catchable for Tony's end, and plays where it could have swayed the game because it was like at the 50-yard line or whatever, after the 50-yard line. So, and Mahomes was like, "What the hell, man? Like, perfectly placed balls."
Well, I mean, I think a lot of receivers go through that. The thing we need to see is, can he bounce back from that? Can Mahomes trust him in situations? Because, well, I mean, like once Kelsey comes back, we know in those 3rd down situations, Mahomes is looking to Kelsey. That's the obvious thing. Tony now needs to be in a situation where teams start double teaming Kelsey and Tony's open. Will Mahomes actually look his way? Because of the game that he had and the drops and everything that led to them losing. Oh, there were other factors, of course, but when it comes to wide receivers, there's 2 things that we know about them. They have big egos, and they're always confident in their own gameplay. So I'm pretty sure Tony's still going to go out there. He'll run his routes and everything. But now we have to see the trust between Mahomes and himself. Where does that stand after this past Thursday night? That's going to be the key for Tony. And Chiefs fans too, because the wide receiver group isn't like star-studded or anything. And Tony is the one who needs to separate himself from that group until Sky Moore kind of develops and everything like that. Tony's supposed to be the number one guy. And he definitely didn't play like one. I mean, you're muted, by the way.
Hello?
Yeah.
No, I was saying before I go, I was gonna say, is your mic muted or is your mic like? Is it? It sounds like a static key up. Because
I don't know. Let's see.
yeah, because before you joined, I think mine was straight. I think. Let's see. Okay, I don't hear anything. Okay,
It's good now?
it's good now. Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now I don't hear. Now, okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't mine or yours.
I got you.
Oh, by the way, man, happy birthday, man.
Yeah. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Shit, how old you turning, man? Or how old did you turn? Like 31, 32?
39.
Damn. LeBron's age, man. Damn near, man. Turn 40?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think didn't LeBron turn 39 like December or something? I think we're like a couple of months away or something.
Is he 39 or 40? But turning 40.
That's your guy. You should know.
But anyways. Yeah, man. I just want to say happy birthday, man. Again, I know we didn't do a show yesterday. We haven't done a show for a couple weeks now, but I didn't even like when Dylan said it was your birthday. I ain't gonna lie, I forgot your birthday was yesterday, but because usually Facebook does like a little reminder of your friends, like it didn't pop up for you for some reason. So
I don't know. I guess Facebook's trying to forget me. I don't know.
So what do you do, man? Did you just chill at the house?
Yeah, I just chill at this point. You know, it's It's 39. I've had so many of them. It's like, just another day.
My
I'll
boy,
probably
Big
do something
Dog.
over the weekend.
I know you said you're gonna do something with your family over the weekend. Yeah, I got my
Yeah.
boy from Maryland. He's a Ravens fan, so happy birthday, Virgo gang. So I guess he's a Virgo himself. So
We out here.
I mean, y'all still trash, man. It's like, oh wait,
Same birthday.
oh
Okay, what's
word,
up?
wait.
What's
So
up,
your
big guy?
birthday? What's today? The 15th. So y'all was both for the 14th.
I guess that's what Big Dog's saying.
Yeah, because I know his girl took him to the Ravens Texans game for his birthday. That was week 1. Oh yeah, that's dope.
There you go.
Yep.
Well,
But
happy belated birthday, Big Dog.
But yeah, man. I mean, obviously, I got my boy Big Dog to defend me when we talk Ravens talk because he is a diehard Ravens fan. He's in Baltimore or outside of Baltimore, so watch yourself, Kyle. Don't say nothing about Lamar Jackson. There, we're gonna come for you, man.
You already know I'm gonna say what I need to say.
Yeah, man. But yeah, actually, he was at that game of Texas. I know he can actually kind of explain. Well, maybe he doesn't have a mic or whatever, but I know he can tell you that like when Dobbins got the Achilles, that whole stadium kind of like that, the whole mood kind of like changed. But he had that touchdown. I know my brother picked him in fantasy. I know he was pissed about it.
I mean,
but
that's risky to begin with.
I told my brother not to pick Dobbins in the first round or second round, and he was
He took the second round. That's bold right there.
I thought it was his year, man.
Oh, I thought it was his year. He said, "Oh my, well, yeah, but he was injury prone though."
I mean, I get it.
Kyle, can you please explain to my brother how to draft properly? Because he did pick late fives, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be a rookie that starts, right? But you're not supposed to pick unless you're a proven rookie. You're gonna start. Well, obviously Zay is, but like you're not supposed to pick rookies in the first round.
I mean, I normally don't. It kind of depends on the rookie, like you said.
It depends on the rookie, yeah.
Like you said, Zay. His role with the team. If you want to go that route, you can. I probably wouldn't have taken even Zay in the first round. Like Bijan's a guy. If you wanted to, maybe. I'm also not a believer in taking running backs in the first round.
I mean, Moden said you're 29, not 39. No way.
I mean, it is what it is. It's just kind of comes with the territory at this point. But yeah, usually when I draft, if it's like a PPR league, first couple of picks I go wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I got I don't know how Burrows flipped to me. I got Burrow, Joe Burrow. I got Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think did I show you my lineup? I don't think I did. I got Burrow, Josh Jacobs, Pierce from the Texans. AJ. Well, no, I got AJ Brown I had to snag him. Then I had I picked Addison like late rounds for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got Christian Kirk for my flex, and then I got like George Kittle for my tight end. And then I got Ravens defense, of course, and I got Tucker for my kicker. But it's like you have to really like, because obviously a draft is if somebody picks your pick, you gotta on the fly kind of like pick the next available. So especially if it's slug draft, because the slug is like if you're the first pick, then you're all may get the second pick when it goes around like a snake draft. So a player ahead of you might pick a player you want, and then you have to freaking game plan.
That happens all the time.
But yeah, man. I gave my brother some advice, man. So
I mean, it's fine taking running back early or whatever. It's just I don't know if Dobbins would have been the guy I would have targeted early in the draft. Only because, like you said, with his injury history, it's always a wonder of how many games will he play.
he didn't expect to get
be
fair, he didn't expect to get Achilles first game. I mean, he had a good game. It is what it is, man. Because I know he had an ACL. I mean,
Right, but I'm
he had a
saying
good
like
he had a good camp, like
in terms of Dobbins, like I don't think he's ever gotten through a full season.
No, he got hurt
I don't even
preseason
know what
against
his
the Commanders.
I don't even know what his career high is for games in a season.
I don't know. I know he was hurt when he was at Ohio State. He was
That's
all
true. He was too.
so
And with a running back position, when you're constantly getting hamstrings or knee or ankles and stuff like that, it really wears on you because that's what you need for that position. It usually once you start hurting them, it becomes a kind of a constant thing.
yeah, I don't know about Big Dog. He's still in here, but I mean, I think Dobbins' career is over, man. I don't know if it's over in the league or on our team, but his career might be over, man. You can't really, like you said, Kyle, like you can't really, like the running back position that is the short shelf life. He had like what an ACL. I mean, now an Achilles. I think his career is done, man. And we'll get into that, like the old Dobbins and Aaron Rodgers, Achilles too. But yeah, I mean, but the first game, Lions Chiefs.
Hmm.
I mean, it was a good, I guess, first game to kick it off. Rams got their, I mean, not Rams. I mean, Chiefs got their rings. Yeah, that's what I mean. I am too, man. He's still a young guy. I'm just praying for the best. Yeah, I never wish injuries on my. I never wish injuries on any of the NFL players, man. It's football. It's what happens. It's just unfortunate about Dobbins because he was excited to get back on the field. He had a good training camp, no injuries in training camp or practice or whatever. All he wanted was his money, but then again, I don't know. He got hurt, so I don't know if he's gonna get that bag. Um,
There's not a chance in the world he gets it back.
Now, yeah,
Because I
that's
just
out the
looked at his
window.
stats. 2020, he played 15 games. He only started one though, so they kind of
Yeah,
monitored him. Then he missed 21. 22, he played in 8 games, and then 23, just the one game. That kind of
yeah.
history, yeah, it's going to be
I
tough for him to
just,
get paid necessarily.
yeah, I just think he's done. His career's done. No, maybe not career, but I mean, maybe it could be. Or I know it's done with the Ravens, man. Because I mean, how? What if something happens next year when he gets healthy? He gets like his other Achilles hurt or his other knee. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you never know.
He can re-sign. It's just his role is going to have to be different. You like okay, so any team that signs him, you can't sign him assuming he's your number one guy. He's going to be your lead back. You can't assume that
Yeah,
anymore. If you're bringing him in, he's going to be part of a running back rotation, and in that way, he can still work. It'll just be whether or not he can handle that as his role. Because, like Big Dog
yeah,
said, he's still young. He may rehab this and think, "Oh, I feel better than ever. I can still be whatever." But teams aren't going to look at it that way because he just hasn't shown it at this point. So he might have to take like a 1 year type deal to prove it. Then maybe he can get something after that. It also hurts him that the running back position right now, in terms of signing contracts like that, it's a bit of a struggle. So it's probably the worst time for him to really go through this injury. But if he's willing to take like maybe a short one with like an option or something like that, the second year, show that he can make it through a season, then maybe he can still make some money in his career. But if not, yeah, it's gonna be rough. And rehabbing from that injury is gonna be tough as well. So
oh
he could,
yeah,
like you said, just decide, yeah, I think I'm done. But
yeah. I mean, it could be his decision. Like like hey, I don't know if he has a wife or kids, or maybe they have to sit down and be like, hey, how much of this can I take, man? How much of this? But obviously, maybe he can get with. I mean, in all seriousness, he should get with like Aaron Rodgers' doctor because that's what he did. He did the surgery with the one of the most popular doctors who worked on the Kobe Bryant's at one time's Achilles or whatever. I forget his name, but I think he's in Jersey or somewhere. But he's one of the best doctors that I've heard. Um, And I think Aaron shouted him out on his story. I think the surgery went well. I forget his name, the doctor, but I mean, maybe Dobbins should
I
go
know
with him. And,
I don't know his name either, but yeah.
But
Well,
we'll
I
get.
think that's also kind of a good part of it is, I know, like I told you, like in the chat that like I had an Achilles injury, except for mine.
No, you did have one.
Yeah, I had one like a few years ago. It was like,
And was it like but that one was a complete rupture though. Oh no, wait. That was that Aaron's or was that? I don't know if that was.
doctors will say like you're better off rupturing it than tearing it. Like for me, I tore it and I had to like ice it and kind of wait for it to heal. Because at least if they rupture it, they can just go in and surgically repair it. So that's where Rodgers and I guess Dobbins ruptured his as well.
I'm not sure if he fractured it or something like that. I know Aaron was a complete tear, complete rupture of it.
Yeah.
So
like I said, that way it's they just go in and surgically repair it. So that's what they'll say is like that's actually better.
So did you get surgery or did you just
because I only tore mine, I didn't rupture mine. So I just had to I was just on crutches for a little bit.
So rupture means like that shit like
it just completely tears apart and
it's like a string, kind of like a little bone string, right?
Yeah, so think of it as like if you put a rubber band on your heel that connects to your calf muscle. So it stretches out, it comes back, stretch out, come back. So if you rupture it, it's like you just completely cut the rubber band and your calf muscles just hang in there. So they'll go in and reattach it and everything like that. When you tear it like I did, it's like little cuts in the side of it. So it's still together, but it's just it's weird. But yeah, so I just had to like ice it, like elevate it and kind of wait to like regain some mobility.
How long was the recovery? Like a couple months?
Yeah, and it was annoying.
Man, like if you don't mind sharing, like how did you do? Like was it like playing soccer, sports, and like?
I was playing basketball at LA Fitness, and I went in there because I was like, let me see what this gym's about. And you know how it is. You go to LA Fitness, people in there trying to ball and all that stuff. And I hadn't played basketball in a little bit, but I was playing.
Yep. I already know where this is going. I already know where this
I was feeling myself. I had a little step back going. I had the 3-point shot going, and I was like, okay. So I played a game, and then they were like, well, let's run it back. I probably shouldn't have, but I was like, yeah, let's go ahead. So I was like playing defense on this guy, contested his shot, and I turned to go for the rebound, kind of like a Rodgers type thing. My foot was a little bit further away from me, and I went to push off of it, and I heard like the pop sound, and did the thing like Shaq when he did his with the Celtics. He looked back to see like who stepped on his heel or whatever. There was nobody there, so I took a couple of steps, and I was like, yeah, that's not supposed to feel that way. And then I went down to the court and was just kind of just laying there. And it's a weird feeling because like when you'll start stepping on it, your foot always feels like it's like never touching the ground. It's a weird feeling. So yeah, it was just me probably doing too much at LA Fitness.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Because I know the Achilles is like, I mean, obviously, if you're an athlete, you'd be seeing what Klay Thompson then, he got an ACL and didn't he get an ACL and the Achilles? Like, it's like, imagine tearing that back to back. It's weird, but I mean, I guess we can dive into we just got finished the Lions Chiefs game. I guess we can dive into like the Ravens Texans while we were talking about Dobbins. Lamar's first game with the new weapons, first real game, OBJ, Zay Flowers in action, and then CJ Stroud and Will Anderson, the top picks in the draft this year. I mean, I told you, man, like CJ Stroud's gonna run into a big test on the defense, man. I mean, CJ Stroud did pretty good.
Everybody knew that.
I mean, hey.
You're talking about rookie quarterbacks coming into the NFL.
If I was a rookie quarterback, I'd be scared to play our defense, man. I feel bad.
I wouldn't.
But I mean, CJ Stroud, I guess, held his own. But I mean, obviously, Roquan Smith, Clowney, he played well. And, oh yeah, we'll get to that comment.
Ravens defense is none
If
but
you're
name.
Rockets management, how do you handle the Kevin Porter? We'll definitely get to that situation.
There's a simple answer to that question.
Coach said, "What up?" I'm gonna get into the comments. Big Dog said he's still a young guy. I'm just praying for the best. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, he's not a feature back anymore with this injury. And Mo said blew out his Achilles years ago. Damn, man, like that's crazy. Like, so Mo, can you walk on it, or did you blew it out? Like, or did you get a surgery? Like, can you get like a metal rod in it?
Well, I believe, like I said, like you rupture it. I think they kind of like attach it to. I guess they attach it back to the bone or something. I mean, I'm not really sure, but
I'm trying to
I'll
think.
say like even with mine that I tore it a little bit, like it's
So I'm
still.
trying to figure out where they kill because I'm feeling where my heel is.
So you'll
Is it
take
that?
your heel and then up the back of your leg. It's. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to necessarily feel, but
Because I
it's.
feel a bone. It's like a little like. I feel my toe, my heel,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like this bone right here. Like,
So like the tendon kind of runs with that bone there.
okay, I'm trying to figure out like where that.
Because that's
I
why
know.
when they showed like the little slow mo replay with Aaron Rodgers, when he ruptured his, you see like his calf muscle change really quickly.
Like buckle.
Yeah, because that's what it was. It was like it stretched out to a certain point and then it just snapped, and the calf muscle just kind of changes its form because that's what's holding it in place. And that's why there was like I think it was Pat McAfee or somebody said that like they were talking to some doctor and the doctor noticed that image and he automatically knew that it was the Achilles injury because of how the calf muscle reacted,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. But um, the thing with Rodgers, not to really get back on him, but it's like he's 39. By the time he comes back, he'll be 40. With the rehab and everything that goes in with it, it's just gonna be a conversation he's gonna have to have with himself and his family. Like, does he want to go through all that rigorous training and everything to get his body into a position where he could come back and play quarterback?
He just said that oh, I didn't see it, but I saw that Aaron said that 'cause he's on a Pat McAfee show and he was like, if y'all have doubts, whatever, or something like
It's
that.
easy to say that now, though. It's once he gets into the day to day of rehabbing, that's when, like, I'm one of those who believes he's going to try to come back, but it's going to be like once he rehabs it and he drops back on like a 5-step drop, plants that foot, and has to push off of it. How does he feel? Does he lose something with arm strength? Those are the kinds of things he's going to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Does he, have confidence in it if a pass rusher's coming and, maybe trips or something, gets near his ankle in that area? Will he be hesitant? That kind of stuff is what he's going to, like the mental part of it is what he'll have to get over.
Right. So give me your. I mean, I don't know if you saw the game, the Ravens Texans game. Like, give me your just overall reaction to it. And how do you watch games since it's out of market?
Well, there's a couple ways to do it. So,
I mean, I do Dofu. That's what I did. Like the app.
I can't remember the website I go to, but yeah, you can either do that. YouTube TV now has Sunday Ticket, which at least with YouTube TV, they have that multi-view feature, and they'll let you watch like 4 games at once, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because when you're saying
them
like, "Oh, what about that dot? What about that Lamar interception?" I'm like, how you watching that? Like, I don't.
Well, I think for that one, I think when that happened, I was in the car, and if you have like XM radio, you get Yeah, I think I was listening to the like NFL radio channel, and they like cut into the game when the Ravens are driving,
Oh,
and that's when
gotcha,
I heard
gotcha.
that he threw the interception. Yeah, that's what it was for that one. But I mean, look, it was week one. You know, if I guess if any fans were thinking like the Ravens were just going to hit the ground running from the jump, I would have said you were crazy, and you saw that against Houston, which was part of the reason why I did pick Houston plus was like 10 or 9.5 because I knew the Ravens were going to struggle offensively. And I also think Houston defensively will be pretty good by about midseason because they have talent on that side of the ball. Plus, D'Amico Ryans knows how to coach up a defense. So because of those two factors, I thought it was going to be a closer game than the spread, which for a good part of that game, it looked like I was going to be right, and Houston was going to keep it kind of close. It was just that offensively, they have a lot of room to grow,
A lot of
which is
flags.
understandable because C.J.
Penalty.
Stroud, we saw it, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, both struggled
Yeah.
like horribly.
Well,
in week
actually,
one.
Bryce Young Bryce Young actually fought harder than because that game went back and forth, man. And then Bijan just took it over in the third and fourth.
Yeah, but Bryce Young didn't play well.
No, he didn't play well, but it's like at least he put up a fight.
Houston put up a fight. It's just if you look at the level of the opponent, Baltimore is a better opponent than
Well, yeah, I
Atlanta.
mean, Panthers lost 10-24, but I mean, like the highlights that I saw that ESPN showed, like it was like going they scored, then they scored, and they scored, then they scored. But
After about probably after halftime, Carolina offensively did pretty much nothing. Fourth quarter, they did even less. They did basically zero in the fourth quarter. Because I did watch that game, and because I wanted to see Bryce Young against Atlanta with a defense that is supposed to be improved. I want to see how he could handle that. He looked unsure on a lot of plays. He missed some open guys, which, like I said, week one, you can kind of live with that. I guess the only rookie quarterback who kind of performed well was Anthony Richardson. Surprisingly, because out of the three, he's the one you knew the least about. You probably had the most questions about coming into the NFL. But luckily for him, he's a bigger guy, so his body is built for the NFL, and he used his legs when he could. So I think that helped him out. Whereas Young and Stroud, they just struggled. But yeah, I mean, back to the Baltimore and Houston game.
yeah,
I felt like it was up and down performance because, like I said, that drive when Lamar threw the interception, they were in the red zone, not something you want to do, which I think was something they struggled with last year was getting touchdowns in the red zone, which is one of those reasons why I don't really pick Baltimore going that far.
and then again, I guess if Chiefs fans want to make an excuse, we didn't have Andrews in the game, so he's probably our tight end a big tight end threat.
I mean, I guess I'd believe that Zay Flowers had what do you have, like 9 catches?
Yeah, Zay was going off. I mean, he wasn't going off, but he had a good game first game. Like, made some open field moves.
Yeah, so it seemed like Zay kind of took somewhat of the Andrews role where a lot of Zay's catches were like over the middle and making moves like that. That's kind of the space Andrews operates as well.
And then Dobbins had that touchdown in that red zone.
Yeah. But it's just that, the interception, like I was saying, is like, can't have that happen. And I'm sure Lamar will be better off and everything like that once the season gets going. But
yeah, it's about chemistry, and that's with any team, chemistry, and and like I said, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I said even before the week one started, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens offense clicks maybe by week 6, or week 5, with the weapons, because I know OBJ didn't have to get that many touches until that nice throw from Lamar to him in the third, fourth quarter. That was 20-yard, 30, 50-yard pass. Perfectly plays ball. But he didn't really get no touches really. But then again, that's just getting to feel the offense.
I still think that's going to be. Look, I still say Lamar outside the numbers. I'm not scared of him. So I think there's going to be plenty of games where you see Odell 2, 3 catches, where most of Lamar's attention is going to go to Andrews over the middle and Zay like over the middle as
And forgot
well.
about Bateman too. Bateman, there you gotta hit a good game.
How many catches does Bateman have?
I gotta look.
I mean, Bateman doesn't. I mean, look, I don't really think about Bateman that much. Although if he can't produce, it'll definitely be a
Yeah,
positive.
he only had three catches, but 35 was the
Okay, so
longest.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I think with he and
It's only the first game. I ain't really worried.
I don't know because look, Monken's offense is all about spreading the ball out and all this kind of stuff. I think it's just going to look the same as last year, just different formations. Andrews and Zay over the middle, running the ball, and that's going to be the offense.
We'll see, man. I mean, I'm not really overreacting on the receiving corps. I mean, it's only the first game. You know,
I'm going off
we'll
of
see.
Lamar's history. Lamar does not like throwing outside the numbers because it's not as much room out there, so you have to be more pinpoint. Over the middle, you have a little bit of leeway, but it's tough for a lot of quarterbacks to throw outside the numbers. I'm not going to necessarily say like everybody does it except for Lamar. It's just that you bring a guy like Odell. Odell loves running outside the numbers, getting downfield. That doesn't play into Lamar's strong suit.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what Tom Monken has in store for 16 more games. I mean, I'm not really. I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, that's what everyone has said. Oh, you can't throw outside the numbers. I mean, he has the corp to do it. Zay Flowers is definitely outside the numbers guy. You see in Boston College,
He's not
see.
though. Zay gets a lot of his stuff down the middle.
I mean, I feel he's like a Tyreek Hill, man, short and speedy. But obviously, Hill was a running back before. I didn't even know that Tyreek Hill was a running back before he was a receiver back in the day. That's why his route running is so freaking out of this world. Yeah, I think a Miami fan that I had, he told me, I was like, oh, he was a running back before.
I don't remember anything about Tyreek Hill in college or anything like that.
But hey, I mean, they could be that that open field Tyreek Hill. I mean, Zay Flowers definitely has the speed.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like body type wise, like short, speedy, or like his run after catch is freaking out of this world. So we'll see. Yeah, Big Dog said he likes to hit speed guys outside the numbers. Yeah, see, like you won't phase Kyle, man. Like he's not phased, man. Oh, Kyle, you know what?
Like round 15.
Oh, like Hollywood Brown.
You don't even like Hollywood Brown.
Because I ain't gonna lie, he dropped some balls, man, that were definitely catchable, like freaking Kadarius Toney. Now he's in Arizona with a injured quarterback, so that's his loss. But 15. Wait, what's that mean? 15-5? 50 out of 5. I'm not sure what that means. But we can move on to the next game. I mean, on ESPN's docket, Niners Steelers. I mean, that game is a blowout. What are you talking about? Hollywood Brown? Just to confirm where he was.
I mean,
If you
I
look at
guess
the box,
well, Steelers, Niners. It was a lot of people were hyping up the Steelers because they didn't believe in Brock Purdy. That game just showed Brock Purdy in that offense can get it done. It also lets people know that the Steelers, yeah, we see the talent on the Steelers, but Johnson's already hurt and is probably going to miss this week. I think what Muth is dealing with an injury.
I didn't even know Allen Robinson was on there.
I
He had
mean,
5 receiving,
a
64
lot
yards.
of people have lost track of Allen Robinson at this point. But
Najee Harris had 6 carries for 31 yards. Man.
That's a big problem. That we're starting to realize is Najee Harris isn't kind of living up to the expectation. A lot of people thought he was going to be one of these dominant running backs like a Chubb and all that. He just hasn't done it.
I mean, he had a couple good games last year. A couple good spurts.
It's one thing to have a couple of good games. You got to put
No,
together.
yeah, I know.
Especially in this offense because Pickett, it's his second year. He needs Harris to
especially in this
take
division.
pressure off. And yes, in the division as well, like you said, because Cleveland defensively, pretty good. Baltimore defensively, you know that they're good. There's questions about Cincinnati defensively, but it's still not easy going up against them. So if those teams know all we have to do is worry about Pickett in the passing game, it's going to make it tougher for the Steelers to compete in those games. Harris has to be able to be effective, handing the ball off to him, throwing it to him in the screen game, and all that. Plus, they have Jaylen Warren, who I think a lot of people would say might be the best of the two right now. But we saw this with the Steelers last year, though. They started slow, made that run late in the year. So I don't know if we should necessarily overreact to them losing to San Francisco. Because, like I said, I think that game showed more that San Francisco might be real.
To be fair, obviously, they lost to a freaking a guy who only played 8 games last year, coming in as a
Brock Purdy. Matter,
they got a better offense. Obviously, they got Christian McCaffrey, they got Deebo Samuel, they got Kittle there. But to be fair, they lost to basically a rookie QB, and it's he only played half a season.
Yeah, but he has playoff experience. That means a little more. He got through.
He got through the Seahawks, right? Because they had to get that. They had to get to that game to beat the Eagles or to face the Eagles.
Was it Seahawks?
Yeah, because they played the Seahawks, right? Because I know Dylan he's a Seahawks fan, and they did play them.
I think that might have been their opening. Yeah,
so that was the game. So he only has 2 playoff games. Pickett, he doesn't really have any playoff experience. But to be fair, he's not a veteran quarterback. They still lost to a freaking rookie QB. In my eyes, still a rookie QB. He's not really proven yet.
But it's different though, because the games that he won were important games.
And then they brought on CMC. It's I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying he was given the weapons. The
only issue is that Brock Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant, so you automatically assume he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. You're not expecting him to be a starter at any point. He's probably going to be a backup, and he proved.
He's only 23, bro. People talk about him like he's a goddamn 10-year veteran. I don't know. That's why I'm not a 49ers fan and by any means, but it's we can get into this too. I didn't put it on the docket, but with the Trey Lance thing, I just don't think that I think Trey Lance could have been a backup. Because they picked Sam Darnold over him. I don't know about that.
I get why they did it. So think of it this way: if Brock Purdy gets hurt and you bring in Sam Darnold, you're running the same offense. Nothing changes. If Purdy gets hurt and you bring in Trey Lance, you have to switch up the playbook because Trey Lance plays much differently than Brock Purdy does. Like if I bring in Trey Lance, I'm running, RPO, design quarterback runs, all that kind of stuff.
Isn't that Shanahan's style of play? Like,
not necessarily. I mean,
he's
Shanahan,
the guru.
Yeah, but Shanahan, who's been his most successful quarterback? Matt Ryan, the year they went to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan isn't running anywhere. Matt Ryan's going to stand in the pocket, get the ball out of his hands quickly, get it into the hands of playmakers.
Are you talking about this? Like, are you talking about like old Matt Ryan or prime Matt Ryan? Because he was a speed running back or quarterback.
Matt Ryan has never been mobile.
I mean, he could get out the pocket.
Yeah, he doesn't want to though.
I'm saying when he was like younger Matt Ryan.
No, younger Matt Ryan was. I'm trying to think of a comparison. I don't even know. Maybe, all right, so younger Matt Ryan might be Mac Jones. Mac Jones, on the occasion, will run for a first down, but he's not trying to do that every other play. It's only out of bare necessity will he actually take off. That's what Matt Ryan was. I think Purdy's kind of the same way. Purdy can run a little bit, but he's not trying to run for a first down, 5-6 times a game. It's once or twice you might see him do it, and then he's kind of good. All Shanahan wants Purdy to do is take that snap, get it to Ayuk, get it to Deebo Samuel real quick in open space, and let them do work. Trey Lance, I think Trey Lance still struggles throwing the ball. As we kind of saw in the preseason, he can kind of lock in on the receivers too much, and that gets him in trouble. So Trey Lance just needs time. The Niners aren't necessarily in a position to give him that time because the Niners are trying to win right now. They made the NFC title game last year. They brought back basically the same team minus DeMeco Ryans and a couple of pieces here or there, but they would rather have Darnold go in there where you don't drop off as much as if Lance would have come into the game. So then at that point were they just going to keep Lance as a number 3? But then if you're the number 3 quarterback, how much development are you really getting? So I think moving him was the only thing they could do at this point. Now, the fact that Dallas went and got him, that's another conversation to have because you have Dak Prescott, who, seems like Cowboys fans love him. Seems like Jerry Jones loves him. You have Cooper Rush as a backup who has shown when you need him when Dak gets hurt, he can get it done. So where does Trey Lance fit into that equation? Like, is Dallas just holding on to him to then try to move him later on? I don't know. I don't know what Dallas is doing, but that's not where I thought he was going to end up going when I thought there was a chance the Niners might move him. Dallas probably would have been one of the last teams I would have came up with.
Yeah, I just don't. I haven't really seen much about Purdy. So I can't really say much about him because, like, obviously they're looking at a market, so I can't really say unless they're like on prime time or whatever. But like, I just don't.
He's a better talent right now than Trey Lance. Lance, the potential of him is what people are holding on to because, he can move a little bit, but as a quarterback, he's just not there right now.
But it's like as 49ers fans, I'm kind of being not cautious, but it's kind of like wary of them putting all their marbles on. It's just like dating, man. Like when you have options, right, for different girls, right? You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what they're doing with Purdy. They're putting all their eggs in one basket. Where no, he can be that quarterback for them. It's just like he's still kind of unproven. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had the 8 games. he had the 2 playoff games where he beat the Seahawks, and obviously he got hurt during the Eagles game. They had to put CMC as the quarterback. I mean, that's why they added the new rule with the 3 quarterbacks. So your starting quarterback gets hurt, and then your backup gets hurt, and then you have the third quarterback. I mean, obviously that's last resort for any team, but it's like, damn, it's like y'all didn't do good with Jimmy G. I mean, he was injury prone. A lot of people want him out, even Las Vegas. I mean, I'm not saying that like he's a trash quarterback. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he's not really like proven. Just like Kenny Pickett not proven. And I'm a Ravens fan. I mean, I'm saying in Pickett, I mean, he makes. I mean, obviously that the AFC North kind of like with the young quarterbacks competitive because Lamar's 26. Got Watson. You have obviously Burrow there. And Kenny Pickett, they've had now they have a mobile quarterback rather than Big Ben. So it kind of makes the AFC North more fun to watch because you have these young quarterbacks. But it's like, even with Kenny Pickett, there's still stuff that we haven't seen. Like we've seen him in Pitt at college. But it's like, I mean, I want Pickett to do good for the Steelers, man, because I mean, without Tomlin there, I don't see them winning any games. But Tomlin's there. He hasn't had a losing season. So that's why I kind of have them, like 9+ wins, I think, or 8.5. Because I think that I don't see without. So if the Pittsburgh had a different coach, I don't think that they will win as much games because Kenny Pickett, he's still improving. They still have an unproven back in Najee Harris. He really, like you said, he hasn't really been kind of like, he's proven, but he hasn't really lived up to the hype, like you said, right?
It would depend on the coach, though.
Yeah, but Tomlin's been there for
who they replaced him with. That I don't know.
That's
if I
true,
can say
but Tomlin's been there since the beginning, and like he hasn't had a losing season. So, I mean,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He also had a lot of those years with Big Ben.
Yeah, I know.
Was one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I mean, I wasn't as big of a Big Ben guy, but I understood. Big Ben made big plays in big games. He's also had I'm trying to think who his running backs were. I think he had Le'Veon Bell, I think, but Le'Veon Bell, who was one of the best running backs until he wasn't.
Didn't he have didn't he have Connor the tail end of his season? Big Ben.
Yeah, Connor. Was drafted by Pittsburgh and everything, but even Connor was kind of unproven when he was at Pittsburgh.
Who else? I mean, I know
recent years, like Antonio Brown as wide receiver. He had
Hines Ward.
Yeah, so the talent's been there in Pittsburgh. It's just now, last year and this year, where it's a little bit different. Last year struggled to get over 500. I think this year is going to be another struggle because.
Weren't they a game above 500? Because they beat the Raiders, right? That was that game where
it took them until the very last game to get to 9-8. They were looking like they're going to finish under 500 last year. I think it's going to be kind of the same thing this year.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. And that's just not me being a Homer Ravens fan. I think that they're just like Kenny Pickett is still kind of like Brock Purdy. Like he's still like there's much we need to know about him. Brock Purdy, like
it's more than
obviously.
Pickett, Harris struggles.
Yeah, Harris. Yeah,
Johnson. We don't know.
Pickens.
Pickens, we know nice. Pickens is a good wide receiver, but every other team knows that. Who outside of Pickens are
and
you
their
worried
defense
about?
Too? I mean, they got Patrick Peterson, right?
The only person on defense you worry about is T.J. Watt. Because when T.J. Watt doesn't play, that Steelers defense is awful. But when T.J. Watt's in there, they're better because he gets to the quarterback. If you block T.J. Watt, the defense isn't scary.
So I think he's talking about the Steelers. The chemistry is low like the Ravens. The Steelers got low chemistry on offense. I mean, yeah, but then again, they did play a high-powered offense in front of So I mean, I don't know who they play. I think they play. I gotta check to see who they play.
Yeah, but a lot of the analysts and stuff were all about the Steelers beating the Niners because they don't believe in the Niners offense.
I mean, they got the Browns week 2, so I mean, I don't know. That's gonna be a good one.
I would take the Browns.
Cleveland's actually 2.5 point favorite today. But we'll get into the week two games. Focus on the week one games. So I mean, Buccaneers actually got a win against the Vikings in week one.
Mm-hmm.
And we can briefly go over them. Titans Saints. Titans lost 15-16. Panthers lost 10-24 against the Falcons. Jags did beat the Colts by 10, 31-21. Cardinals got lost 16-20. Raiders beat the Broncos 17-16. Dolphins beat the Chargers 36-34. Your Patriots lost against the Eagles 25-20. 38. My bad. Packers actually whooped the Bears 38-20.
Mm-hmm.
Rams Seahawks. The Rams beat the Seahawks, and then the Giants got freaking. I don't know what the word is, man. The Giants got demolished or decimated by the Cowboys. I know it was raining. I know I'm in Jersey. There's no excuse. Darren Jones is not the answer. I don't know if Freddie's watching, but I mean I don't know if Freddie hasn't said anything after I beat his ass in Madden and then he quit on me, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean that was week one.
Mm-hmm.
Week two kicked off last night with Vikings Eagles 28-34. I mean, what are your thoughts on that game if you watched it or
Wait, which game? Hold on. Which game
Vikings Eagles
week. So that one, I mean,
it was kind of slow for me. I kind of fell asleep in the second half. I kind of woke up because I have AJ Brown and Addison on my teams.
I was slow. It was
like low scoring.
You're a Ravens fan. You talking about low scoring? Come on now,
man. We were. Oh, you know what? All right, go ahead. Do your take, man.
Yo, big dog, get your boy over here. Low scoring bores you, but you're a Ravens fan.
Low scoring 25-9 is not low scoring, but all right.
All right. I mean
38 last year. 38-14 against Miami.
Low scoring wins.
38-14 against Miami last year. 20-3.
Let's live in the past.
I'm just saying, low scoring games. Come on, brother. Come on, man.
The Ravens are okay. All right. So last night,
where you at, man? Where you at, big dog? Get him.
Ravens fan who hates low scoring games.
Don't get me wrong. I love low scoring games because it's good football, but it's like, oh, come on, man. It's like you have some of the best receivers in the game. AJ, and football is hard to play, but you have Jay Jetta. You have, freaking AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. You're supposed to be, you're expecting the game to be like off the bat.
Jefferson had what?
No,
100 yards.
No. He had a good game. I'm saying like you expected the game to be like fast paced, scoring back to back.
No, and I'll tell you why. Brian Flores runs Minnesota's defense. He saw what New England did to Philly. He tried to do the same with his defense.
That defense looks legit. Not legit, but that Brian Flores led defense looks pretty good. So far.
It was all right. I think he needs more players there to really get his defense going. But yeah, they basically copied a lot what New England did against Philly. Philly struggled with that early, but there was a couple of interesting plays from the Vikings that really helped them out. The Jefferson fumble into the end zone for the touchback.
Yeah, that could have been,
which was a big play because the Vikings were going to get into the end zone, and that's when they had the momentum early, which would have changed everything. Because Eagles fans were starting to grumble a little bit the way Kirk Cousins was moving the ball with ease against that defense. And Kirk Cousins, look, everybody talks about primetime Kirk, like the dude threw for 364. I don't know what else you want him to do, but that's just people wanting to hate on Kirk Cousins for whatever reason. I get it; he's kind of corny, but he can put up numbers. And he did that. Addison had a good game. Addison had that deep touchdown catch, which was definitely a big play in the Vikings making the game a little bit more interesting. I did see a lot of people who, took the Eagles minus, I think it was Eagles minus 6.5 by the time it kicked off, who were hating themselves after that late touchdown from Minnesota because they ended up losing with the Vikings covering with that touchdown. But, the Vikings are 0-2. I like what they have offensively outside of the running back position. Matheson just isn't it. But that's kind of what they're stuck with right now. Passing-wise, they're going to be fine. It's just going to be defensively, how far can Flores carry them scheme-wise to help them get those wins? Because if I told you Cousins threw for 364, you probably thought the Vikings were going to win the game. They didn't. For the Eagles, I think offensively there's still something off about them offensively. Now, DeAndre Swift had a good game running the ball, which is definitely a good sign for them. But we saw like the whole A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts stuff on the sideline, which I feel like wasn't necessary from A.J. Brown's point of view. Like, I get it. You're not getting the ball as much as you want. The team's winning. Like, who cares? And not every week you're going to be the featured receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, Devonta Smith was getting open. Like, deal with it. These wide receivers and the ego that they have sometimes, it's like, enough is enough. And it's like, was he just doing it because it was Thursday Night Football and he just wanted some attention on the sideline? Like what's the big problem? You're 2-0. Let it go. Or you can pull a Chase Claypool and just stop trying. It's up to you. And also the Eagles have kind of 4 easy games coming up, so they could very easily end up being 6-0. And still not even look that great.
Yeah. So I think that it was kind of a slow game to start out Thursday night. Kirk Cousins had an alright game, okay game. I know it was like not the backup, but the starting running back Madison kind of like fumbled a couple of times. Jetta had a good game. Addison had a couple targets.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right. It was an all right game.
And Kirk Cousins had more than an all right game. Kirk Cousins put up numbers.
Yeah.
364, 4 touchdowns. That's a pretty good game.
364?
Yep.
Okay.
4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I was seeing a lot of
Kirk Cousins.
I was seeing a lot of 3-and-outs when I was watching the game, so on the Vikings side, but I didn't know he had that many yards.
Because the Eagles' defense, especially their front 7, is really good. And then it got to a point where Cousins started attacking the middle of the field, which is what New England did. That's where Hawkinson started making his way, because Hawkinson had 7 or 8 catches. And Jefferson had 11 for 160, I believe. And Addison, he had 3 catches, but that deep touchdown pass, which is kind of his role in the offense, Cousins did all he could. QBR 83, rating of 125. He performed. I still don't have any worries about them. I think I picked Minnesota to win the division. I'll stick with that.
Yeah. So we can go into the game 2. I mean, obviously Ravens and Bengals. I'm on ESPN, so that's the next game on the dock. 1:00. I mean, Bengals are 3-point favorites. I mean, obviously because they're probably home. Since they're at Paycor Stadium.
I mean, I think a lot of people overreact to week 1 and be like, "Oh, take the Ravens easy." I would. I think the Bengals bounce back. They have shown they're slow starters. I mean, you said what is it? They're a 3-point favorite now. I think it
Bengals
was
are
3.5.
3-point favorites.
Okay, so I think it was like 3.5 yesterday.
Bengals side.
So
Yeah,
3
it's
now.
3
Okay,
That's what ESPN says.
and that's interesting because I could see a field goal type of game here.
I think it's gonna be I think Ravens gonna pull it out 23-20.
I mean,
It's
everybody
gonna be
who
a
watches,
low. I mean, it's gonna be a 3-point game regardless. I think. Who knows? It
we
might be
know
a
that.
blowout by either team. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows?
I guarantee each week you're going to pick the Ravens. You will have the Ravens going 17-0. I guarantee it. But that's fine. You know, Bengals by
Both said
8.
Bengals by 8. I don't know, man.
I think the Bengals win. I would say
Bengals couldn't even do anything against freaking the Browns, man.
that's week 1. The Bengals started slow last year. And the Browns are better. Look, I've been telling you all the time the Browns are going to be better. You didn't want to believe it, but it's okay. So I don't think it's that big of a deal what happened last week. I would say the Bengals win it 27-23. Because, well, I think, here's my thought. You're not going to get a 0-catch game from Higgins. That's not happening again. You know, I think Burrow will be able to throw against Baltimore's defense, which is something I said before as well. It'll just be, can Baltimore get to Burrow when he drops back?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the game's going to be won or lost. If Baltimore can get pressure on Burrow, they got a chance. If not, Burrow will pick them apart.
Who's the Bengals fan? Because he said Ravens are hurting with the green, so I guess we. Is that Mo? Is Mo a Bengals fan? I don't know who that
Mo's
is.
a Niners fan.
So who commented on? He said Ravens are hurting with injuries, so I guess we about to take advantage of them. Unfortunately,
Hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know any Bengals fan. Oh, that's a Clarence Dixon. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Clarence. Man.
Oh, that's a.
I've commented on his post a couple here and there. On Facebook, he's a diehard Bengals fan.
Get him,
apparently,
Clarence.
they're doing the AJ Green ring of whatever. What's that thing they do? The Bengals at the jungle.
Get him, Clarence.
I mean, I don't know Clarence. I don't know Clarence like that.
Get him.
But I'm not gonna know Bengals fan. Get the hell out of here with that.
Get him, Clarence.
Miss me with that, man. And we're not really. I mean, we're not. I mean, yes, Dobbins losing. Dobbins hurt.
He's a ruler of the jungle.
Yeah, the ruler of the jungle, man. F that. We the
Ravens flock. Oh.
But
You tell me what's scary if you walking down the street, facing with a Bengal or a Raven. Come on now.
I mean, Ravens like a vulture, man.
Okay.
I'm not scared no tiger, man. See. The Bengals haven't really been important in recent years. I mean, they had Andy Dalton. I'm saying pre-Burrow.
Okay. I mean, how relevant have the Ravens been post Ray Lewis?
I mean, Lamar had an MVP.
Oh God, here we go. Okay.
Oh, this Clarence. I got my notifications on from y'all now. Oh man, yeah, but Yeah, Bengals are a 3-point favorite. I think I have the Ravens. Man, we ain't gonna get to them Bengals, man. Who is this? Another?
That's
See,
Clarence.
I don't. Oh, it's Clarence. Man, we ain't gonna get to them Bengals, man. Wait, are you a Bengals or Ravens fan? Because he was saying, man, we ain't gonna get to them Bengals.
No, he's a Bengal because he said earlier if we can slow down the rush attack from Baltimore, we have a chance.
So maybe he meant the Ravens. Because do you see that comment where he's like, man, we ain't gonna get to them Bengals, man?
Yeah, I see that one. Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Notice he said he's worried about your rushing attack, not your high-powered passing attack, because nobody's worried about that right now.
Man, I think it's gonna be close. It's a divisional game. I think it's gonna be 23-20 Ravens. I think they're gonna have another one of those.
Bengals.
Oh man, that's gonna be close, man. Because I had Burrows on my team last week. He didn't do shit for me last week, so and he got paid all that money.
Okay,
But
Lamar got paid all that money with no touchdown passes.
Okay, he got paid before that happened.
You think Baltimore's paying Lamar to throw for 160 yards and get no touchdowns?
Hey, it's only one game, man. It's only one game.
Clarence, you see what I'm dealing with? But you talking about Burrow? It was only one game.
I expect them to go off, man. That's why I picked them up for my team.
So a lot of people were expecting the Ravens to go off because it's Houston that they were playing, and they didn't do it.
Well, Lamar had 170 for the first game.
That's not former MVP paying a bunch of money to. That's not.
All right,
that's
well,
not
he gonna have like 700 plus yards, 5 touchdowns in one game. It's like he ain't gonna have a perfect game.
We know that. Do you know that?
Jesus Christ, man.
You're getting on Joe Burrow, who's been to the Super Bowl, but you're talking about, hey, Lamar, 160 is only the first game.
I mean, Burrow. I mean, I'm gonna look up his stats right now, week 1, man.
Burrow has still been to a Super Bowl, has
and
been
lost.
to AFC Championship games,
and lost.
Can Lamar say he's even been there? No.
All right, well, if we're talking about playoff success, we're gonna get there, man. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
He got 2 Super Bowl and lost. Does he have a ring? No. Lamar doesn't have a ring. No,
Lamar can't get to a championship game.
All right, man.
You talk one playoff win Lamar is who you're fighting against.
Burrows
that battle every time.
14 for 31, ass, 82 yards, sacked, had a Q rating at 52.2.
Okay.
Mixon 13 carries, 56 yards. Jamar Chase had 5 receptions for 39 yards.
Okay.
It's only one game, but yeah, I mean, we beat the Texans, and Lamar has a 100-yard passing game, and it's a one. It's like
hang a banner. They beat Houston, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I mean, hey,
Browns are a better team than Houston. Don't be surprised if Lamar struggles in a similar way against that Browns defense. Just saying.
But week 2. All right, so yeah, you have the Ravens losing. I'm assuming.
Yes.
And by how much again?
27-23.
All right, I have the Ravens winning 23-20. That's my prediction. But hey, who knows? It could be a slugfest on both. I don't know. We'll see. It could be higher than that. Could be one side favorite. I don't know. We'll see. But usually,
I'd be surprised if either team blew out the other one. But like I said,
I think
Bengals struggle early.
I think our pass rush with Clowney and Roquan and Queen. I mean, I think we're gonna get to him, man. Ojabo, Odafe Owe.
I refuse to have any expectations from Clown until he actually does something.
I mean, what does he need to show you?
Something that's sustainable. Clowney came in this league with like expectations he's in turn to Lawrence Taylor or something. It just hasn't happened. He's been bouncing around the league now. Something's got to be the reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he fits the Raven system. I mean, we'll see. He had a good first game. Like putting pressure on us Stroud to get to him, and he had a couple. He had one play where he almost got sacked Stroud, but for a loss of yards, but he almost got to him. So we'll see. So KC, Jags, game 2 on the dot, 1:00. KC is 3.5 point favorite. Who do you got in that one?
That's a tough one. Because all right, so the only thing that I'm kind of going back and forth with is like, do we expect Kansas City to have another kind of subpar performance like they did opening night? And for Jacksonville, and this is something I've been saying as well, you add Ridley to that offense, and look what he can do. He had a really good game week 1, 8 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. He now makes Christian Kirk your number 2 after Christian Kirk had a really good year last year as the number 1 guy. Kansas City's defense, I guess, will get an upgrade with Chris Jones coming back. All of that whole situation is just weird. He held out to kind of come back, not really gaining much in terms of why he held out in the first place. So you expect to see the defense probably get a little bit better, but he's going to need some time to kind of get back into things. I mean, do I want to sit here and say the Chiefs end up going 0-2? All right. I think the Chiefs find a way to get it done, but it's another close game. You said what? Kansas City's a 3.5 point favorite.
3.5, yeah.
I might say the Jaguars cover. So I might say like a 20, 29, 26 kind of game. Chiefs win. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags won that one. That's a game I would not bet or anything like that. I'll say Chiefs 29-26.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it. Well, they said Kelsey. They should be playing. Jones and Kelsey should be playing week 2. I think it's going to be. I think Mahomes is going to bounce back. I think in the Chiefs, I think they're going to beat the Jags 27-20.
Okay, I can see that.
Maybe you can write these down, keep track of them. If you have a pen and paper next to you. Yeah, I don't know if you have any paper or pen. No, so if the Ravens get beat, I would say 23-20 or whatever. I'm not bullshitting. So you'd be like, oh, yeah. Big J, oh, you said this, you said that. All right, so Ravens, Bengals, I said 23-20. Or I think 26-23. Either or, don't matter. So Jordan and Kyle's prediction. Right. Yeah, I don't have any.
I said Bengals.
I don't got any paper near me or anything.
We both said Chiefs.
Yeah, so I took them 27-20, Chiefs and Jags.
Oh, so you want the score as well? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
26-23. I said Bengals 27-23. I said Chiefs 29-26. And you said Chiefs
Yeah, Chiefs 27-20.
27-20. All right.
All right. I think this is gonna be another blowout. Niners and Rams. I think it's gonna be 30-20 or 30-10 actually. Rams Niners are 77-point favorites.
Yeah, the Niners probably cover that one.
So I'm going 30. I'm going 30-10. Gonna be another blowout.
Stafford had a good game last week. We know he can throw it. There's definitely questions about them defensively, but now you're going up against the Niners defense. That's obviously an upgrade. I'll probably go Niners 27-13.
So I'm running the same score, 30-10. So you just gave him an extra touchdown. Or well, you gave him one less. We gave him 27-13. I said 30-10.
Yeah.
So Raiders, Bills.
This game is going to be interesting.
Bills are 8-point favorites.
That's an interesting line as well. Because as bad as they looked against the Jets, on the Jets defense we know, but the Josh Allen unnecessary interceptions thing, it's something where if he does that again against Vegas, we'll keep them in that game longer than they probably should.
I think it's going to be.
The Bills bounce back.
I think the Bills will win. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be 24. 24-14. I'll give Raiders two touchdowns.
Okay. I was going to go 30-17.
Damn. Hopefully, I don't throw picks, man.
Well, I feel like probably going to hear
on their defense, Raiders. I know Alex Crosby. That's it. That's all I know.
Who knew who that Whitehead dude was on the Jets until Allen threw 3 interceptions to him?
That's true.
Josh Allen will make guys who you never heard of household names.
That's true.
The thing's going to be offensively for Buffalo. Can they establish a run game? I've been saying this for years. If they could figure out a way to get a running back, a couple of running backs there who can give you consistent production, that takes a lot of the pressure off of Josh Allen. Problem is, they have running backs there. They don't necessarily use them a lot. But they find themselves in situations where Josh Allen has to make a play. And then when he does that, he takes these risks because in his mind, got to hit the big play, got to hit the big play. You don't have to do that. Every once in a while, maybe you can go on a 10, 12 play drive and just work your way down the field. Everything doesn't have to be a quick strike over the top. But I get it, he's a gunslinger, as they say. He's got the strong arm. He wants to use it. But you just got to take what the defense gives you, and they'll be fine if he does that.
Yeah. So we got the next game. Titans, Chargers. I got Chargers are winning. LA Chargers are 2.5-point favorites, but not that much. But
that's interesting.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be.
That game's in LA, right?
I think so.
Oh, that doesn't even matter because LA.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's Nissan. It says in Tennessee.
Oh, interesting.
I think I'm going Chargers by. I'm gonna go 27-24. Chargers.
I like that. I do think it's probably get closer than a lot of people
Yeah,
expect.
because it was 15-16 against the Saints. So it's like,
Well, defensively, the Titans are really good defensively. I mean, the Chargers defense. They've had some they had some issues, especially against Miami. And J.C. Jackson, who they spent a lot of money on, was getting torched by Tyreek Hill. The key is going to be, can the Titans get Derrick Henry going? Tennessee's going to have to go on long drives to keep
where
that
were his
offense.
stats last week? Derrick Henry. Let me see.
I feel like the Saints did a decent job.
15 carries for 63 yards.
Yeah, that's a great job defensively.
Yeah. Ryan Tannehill had 3 interceptions, 198 yards.
I mean, the Saints defense is pretty good as well. But yeah, Derrick Henry's got to give you more than 63 yards. I mean, I don't know what all the Dolphins highlights were Tua throwing the ball because he threw for like 470 on them. I don't even know how much they ran the ball for. I mean, part of me wants to kind of go with an upset here, but I'll take the Chargers. 470 on them.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me.
Oh, what's going on, Josh? Josh Bailey, what's going on, man?
Josh?
Thank you for the like.
I was thinking that some running back had a decent game, so it was Mostert. Okay. That's what I'm saying. That's going to be if Tennessee can get Derrick Henry going, I think they can steal this game.
I mean, yeah, Derrick Henry.
I think I'm talking myself into this one. Then what does Tannehill do? All right, I'm going to go Chargers. I'll say Chargers 2017.
2017.
Yeah, I think the Titans are going to make it tough on LA, which Chargers fans probably aren't going to like because you expect with Herbert, Eckler, Allen and all those guys to offensively be explosive week in and week out, but I like what Tennessee has defensively. So I'll go Chargers by 3, but would not be shocked if Tennessee upset them.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked because if Derrick Henry can get going and Tannehill can't, if Tannehill doesn't throw picks and can get D-Hop going, it could change. But I feel like I'm safe doing 27-24 or whatever I had. I think I had 27-24. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I feel pretty comfortable, and then, I mean, if the Titans come back and win, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, that's just like Henry can get going, and then I give him that because
running the ball well, it's less that Tannehill has to do.
Yeah. But do you see Tannehill being a starting quarterback in the coming weeks, or do you think that because he had 3 picks? I mean, he did have like 198 yards, but like, do you see them making a QB change like mid-season, like Malik Willis or Will Levis?
I believe if they're gonna make a change, it's probably Willis. I think if we see Levis, then that means that they probably got off to a rough start, already out of it, and they're just throwing Levis out there just to see, kind of get his rookie season going, get his all of his errors and all that out of the way, get him accustomed to it for him to start next year. Willis, I saw some things in the preseason from him that I liked. So I think he kind of showed that if you put him in the game, he'll kind of know what he's doing. I don't think he's ready right now, so they'll give Tannehill like the first half of the year, see where they are. If they had to, they would go to Willis before Levis. I think Levis is more of a long-term solution than necessarily right now.
Wait, Josh, what do you mean?
I think Tannehill plays the whole season. I do.
Yeah, I was saying, Josh, what do you mean easily? I don't know what you
I
mean by
think
easily.
when Josh came in, we were talking about
like Miami, I think.
Chargers, Titans, and I
Oh.
guess he was saying maybe Chargers easily. I don't know.
He said Mostert had a good game. He's on the Chargers.
I think Mostert ran for over 100 yards, I want to say.
Mostert, he's on Miami, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Chargers defensively are kind of confusing. Henry getting 63 yards. Like, if Henry can get like 110, 120 on the ground, I think Tennessee's in a good position. If he has another game like
Mostert had 10 carries for 37 yards in game 1.
Oh. Who was their leading rusher then?
Nobody.
Really? I thought they had some yards on the ground.
Tua just threw it like crazy, like 466. Raheem had 10 carries. Eric Exuma had 2 carries, 17 yards.
So Josh was saying he was getting that easily. I guess Henry rushing yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill was leading receiver.
Didn't the Dolphins have like over 600 yards of offense?
Huh?
Didn't the Dolphins have like over 600 yards of offense?
I mean, 466 of those were passing yards.
Yeah, so rushing. Yeah, Mostert was the leading rusher. Okay.
So I mean, so they only had 100 or 70 yards on their total rushing yards.
Oh, okay. I thought they had more than that. Okay.
Because Raheem had 37, Eric Exum, whatever, at 17. Salvin Ahmed had 11, and Tua had 5 rushing yards.
Okay, then yeah.
So really just receiving and passing, really, in that game.
Yeah.
But let's see. Okay. So what we left off on the Chargers and Titans game. So Green Bay and Falcons. Green Bay or Atlanta's half-point favorite, 1.5-point favorite.
Really?
Yeah, Atlanta. Yep.
Give me the Packers. I feel confident in that one.
Yeah, Packers. I'm going Packers as well, but it won't be a shutout. I think it's gonna be. I think it'll be another close game. I think it's gonna be. What was the score? I mean, they've had the Bears.
I think they beat the Bears 38-20. Yeah.
I'll give them.
I mean, the Falcons' defense is probably better than the Bears' defense.
I think I'm gonna go Falcons on this one, man. To be honest, because I think that I've heard that Watson is kind of hurt. Christian Watson.
Yeah, I think Watson is hobbled. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Atlanta this game. I'm gonna go the opposite. Or now I'm gonna go with the money line. I think I'm gonna go. Oh, it's not gonna be half-point favorite. I think it's gonna be. I think Beaton gonna go beast mode like it did again in game 1. I think that I see them winning. I think I see them winning. Not by a lot. I think it's gonna be another. I think it'll be 24-17 Falcons.
Okay, so Falcons 24-17. I have Packers 23-16. So we have basically the same score line. But I just think that the Packers defensively are really good, and I think the offense with I don't think I guess the way that Jordan loves running the offense, he's spreading the ball out. He's not locking in on just one receiver. So I do think you'll see a different offense, definitely from the Rodgers years. But I like what I saw from Jordan Love against Chicago. He was playing with a lot of confidence, playing free, and he was just out there just making plays. The Atlanta defense is going to be tough because, Jesse Bates had the 3 interceptions, although I think he got hurt at the end of the game. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but it'll be interesting. Jones might not play, but Atlanta didn't pull it out until the end because of, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think I've seen like the reason why I picked Atlanta because because Bijan Robinson obviously he's the top pick, so he has a chip on his shoulder because he's like top pick. Everyone has everyone's saying everyone was questioning why they picked the running back at number 8 spot. We knew it was gonna but I'm saying that his first game he had an explosive touchdown. Ritter's still finding out the system, but with him and Bijan and Cordell there. If
you stop the run, Ritter can do nothing. Atlanta needs the running game. They need to play with the lead. Like if Atlanta gets down by like 7-10 points, don't expect Ritter to really get you out of that hole. Not gonna happen.
I think the leading rusher in that game was on the Falcons was Tyler Algier. He had 75 with 15 carries, and then Bijan had 10 for 56. Ritter had 115 yards, 15 for 18. So he didn't even have a bad game. 111 QBR.
That's a lot of screen passes. Really short dump off. That's all Ritter can do. He had the one throw over the top to Pitts, which
I'm going with the spread, man. I'm going 100.
Pitts was even in the game.
What I have Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons.
What was the score? 17. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay.
See, this is a tricky one. We had to do all these games, and there's tons of
Seahawks Lions is an interesting one.
It's 4.5 for Lions.
I'll call it 4.5. Even that one's come down. That one was 5.5 yesterday.
I'm going Lions.
Okay.
27-20.
I got the Seahawks. I think Seattle can do some things that the Lions aren't ready for. And I'm not expecting Geno Smith to have another rough game. So I'll take the Seahawks. I think they win it 30-26.
Okay. For Bears Buccaneers.
That's interesting. Justin Fields versus Baker Mayfield.
Tampa Bay is actually 2.5-point favorites in this game. The Buccaneers. I think the Bears will bounce back. I think it's going to be. I have Bears winning. (26-23).
Okay. I think the Bucks win it. I'm with. I think it's Joshua because I'm with them right there. I think Tampa Bay goes 2-0. I got the Bucks winning this one. I'll go 29-16. Bears offensively, look, I'm a full believer in the Bears improving this year. I've even picked the Bears to make the playoffs, but last week what they did against Green Bay was troubling, and then this whole Chase Claypool stuff is troubling as well.
Oh, what happened? Clay, what's that?
He basically quit last week. He stopped running routes. He stopped blocking. I think the team is basically told him to stay away for right now. And I don't know, maybe by him staying away, maybe they play better. But it's just weird to me that all of a sudden Claypool's getting all moody and stuff out there. And it's just week one. Like, it's not even like we're 10 weeks in, the team stinks, and now he's upset. The very first game you're showing out, that probably speaks to something that might be going on in that locker room. I don't know. But for a guy, I don't know. It's I don't know. The NFL is just weird with some of these players. Like, what has Claypool done to warrant him taking plays off?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Him taking plays off. I know he's
to stay home.
Stay home. Like he's like, don't come to the facility. Like,
He's inactive.
that's crazy, man. We can go over the next thing briefly. Got a question two. I mean, I guess we have to get to the NBA real quick, but we'll just briefly go over these. So Giants Cardinals. Giants, I think will bounce back. They're 4.5-point favorites. I think it's 20 to. No, I think 20, 27 to 7. I think Carl's get a touchdown.
All right, I got 24.
No, you know what?
Giants.
Wait, what score did I say for them?
27-7.
I'm gonna do 27-10. I'll give them a field goal and a touchdown. The Cardinals. Yeah, the Giants are 4.5-point favorites. I think Jets get humble this week against the Cowboys. 9-point favorites, Dallas are. So I'm thinking it's gonna be third at is that I mean depending on I think Zach is gonna struggle with this Cowboys defense with Micah Parsons. So I think it's gonna be I'm gonna say 30 to 10.
You have the Cowboys winning 30 to 10?
Yeah.
That's wow. Okay.
I mean, Cowboys are 9-point favorites. So.
I think the Jets cover that easily.
So when you say cover, that means they'll get more than 9.5 points.
So all the Jets have to do to cover is if they lose, they have to lose by less than 10 points. Or if they win, of course, they cover. So I think the Jets cover 9.5 easily.
So you think the score will be close or closer?
Yeah, because as much attention as the Cowboys defense gets, the Jets defense is right there with them. So I could easily say I could see Dak Prescott struggling against the Jets defense as much as people think Zach Wilson will struggle against the Cowboys defense. I mean, I do think the Cowboys win it, but they're not blowing out this Jets team. So I'll say the Cowboys. I think Dak's going to struggle against them.
I think Zach's going to struggle. I think with Micah Parsons up in his face, he's going to get picked up.
I don't think they're going to put Zach Wilson in too many opportunities to kind of get in trouble. It's going to be a lot of running the ball with Cook and Hall.
I know Breece Hall had a good game. Yeah, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to run with Cook and Hall. They're going to use them in the screen game. It's going to be really quick decisions from Zach Wilson. It's going to be like, take the snap, look to this guy, throw it there. They're going to scheme guys open. So I'll say the Cowboys win it. I think it's like 2017.
That close? Wow. All right. Next game on the dot. Got a couple more games. I think Commanders, Broncos, Miami, Patriots, Saints, Panthers, and then Browns, Steelers.
All right.
So Commanders, Broncos, Denver's 3.5-point favorites. This is another interesting game, close game. I think Denver gets it. I think Denver bounces back and gets a W. I think it's going to be close though. I'll say 2017.
Okay. I mean, I had Broncos 23-20, so yeah, we both agree like field goal game.
Let's briefly go on to y'all's teams, Miami and Patriots. Miami's 3-point favorites. I don't know if Tua has a game that he did in game one. I think Miami might blow the Patriots out.
Not a chance he has a game like that against New England.
But who's home? Is it Miami?
It's in New England. And it's Sunday night game.
Oh, wow.
NFL knows.
Yeah.
New England out prime time, all right?
So who do you have winning? I'll let you go first. So just
I think the Patriots are going to give the Dolphins a lot of trouble. I think defensively they'll be able to contain Tyreek Hill and Waddle like they've kind of done before. Make sure those guys don't get downfield, get behind the defense. Keep them out of the end zone. I think that's where Belichick really stresses. If they make catches in front of you, you got to make the tackle right away. And I think offensively, New England showed a lot last week against Philly. You spread the ball out, let Mac Jones just throw it, he'll find guys open. So I think the Patriots get the win. And I'm going to take them. I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. So I'll take the Patriots 27-24.
I mean, if Tyreek Hill explodes, then Waddle explodes, and Tyreek is, the same momentum that they bringing in from game one. I think it's going to be Miami 30, Patriots 27.
Okay.
It's going to be close. It's a division game. So.
I mean, that's
I see your face.
No, it's I've said the first 6-7 games for New England is very tough.
It's tough.
And a lot of people thought they were going to get blown up by the Eagles. They didn't. I think there's some people who think the Dolphins might be too much. I think even if they lose in the fashion that you're saying, 30-27, I can live with that. Because I think the team is going to be very competitive. Now, yes, eventually they're going to have to start winning some of these games, but yeah, I could see either way happening. Because I also believe out of the teams in the AFC East, the Dolphins scare me as a Patriots fan the most. I fear them more than Buffalo and the Jets. And that was even with Aaron Rodgers. Because I know what Tua can do in that offensive system as long as he's healthy. The offense kind of runs really well. I think defensively, they're going to get better as the season goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So I did take Miami to win the division. So, yeah.
So the Monday night game, Saints,
Panthers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the two games Monday night, Saints Panthers the first game, and then Browns Steelers. I'm gonna go real quick.
Interesting one that they picked Saints Panthers.
Yeah, I mean New Orleans is a 3-point favorite.
Okay.
I think the Saints would take it. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 21 Saints, Panthers 14. So by touchdown. So
You
they're
said Saints
21-14.
27-14, right?
No, 21-14.
Oh, 21-14. Okay. Okay. I have the Saints winning as well. Carolina offensively looks lost right now, which is, like I said, understandable. They have a lot of new pieces there. They're trying to figure it out. I mean, I think the Saints defense is pretty good, so it's probably not the best week for Carolina again. So I have the Saints winning this one 23-13.
All right, then around the NFL, the Browns Steelers division game, second game on the dock at 8:15. Browns Steelers. I think the Browns are gonna win it. I think the Browns. I think the Browns are 2.5-point favorites. So I think it's gonna be. I'll pick the Browns. 24 Steelers. 24-14.
Okay. Similar. I have Browns 27-13. I think the Steelers.
Okay.
I think the Steelers' struggles will continue against another good defense in Cleveland.
All right, well, that rounds out the NFL talk. Let's move on to some NBA. Change the overlay. All right, yeah. So I mean, we might as well start with the first question that we had from Mo. Let me go back to it.
Not the Kevin
This
Porter question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're Rockets management, so before this question is asked and answered, so Kevin Porter, a player on the Rockets, got in trouble with domestic violence. It was bad. I think he choked her.
Crazy thing is, in terms of the sports world, not even the worst story of the week. That's how crazy sports are right now.
They're the worst story than that?
Yeah.
Something I wasn't
hear
aware
about
of?
the college kid?
College kid.
I think he was an Alabama walk-on.
Is this new?
This is from maybe 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Well, all right. Well, let's get to this first, and then you can tell me. I wasn't aware of that.
It's gonna blow your mind.
Or you can tell me. I mean, you might already tell me that now. What happened?
So Alabama had I think it was a wide receiver who was walking on.
Like a walk. Okay.
And I think I can't remember the school he left, but he was trying to get onto the Alabama football team. So it's bad enough that Alabama, I think before he's even appeared in a game, have wiped him off the roster. He's not on the website, nothing. But he's basically being charged with sexual assault, which you're like, okay, sexual assault, pretty bad. But it's also with a charge of like second-degree sodomy in Alabama, which I'd never seen those charges together, and I was like, what's that about? It's basically saying like he messed with a girl who's like under 16 but older than 12. Kind of vague in that area, but that's the details we have now, because obviously with the girl being a minor, they're going to be careful
What's going on, man?
Releasing information. I mean, look, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, bro, you're a college kid. Get a college girl. What are we doing here? I mean, like I said, let's see the details of everything, but for a guy 19 having that kind of charge attached to you already, it's kind of rough. Like, gotta expect jail time.
I'm on Blister Report. I don't see anything about.
I can't remember the dude's name. Hold on, it'll come to me because what's his name? Hold on. Antonio Ross. Yes, that's his name. He was an Alabama walk-on wide receiver.
Antonio
It was Antonio Ross.
New details have been released in a sexual assault charge against a former Alabama football player. Antonio Ross, 19, was arrested earlier this week following a Callahan County grand jury indicted on a charge of second-degree sodomy. He was a walked-on player, but is no longer with the team. The indictment was issued in August and made public Thursday. It states that Ross engaged in sodomy with the teen victim who was over the age of 12 but under the age of 16. Oh my God, bro!
That's such a wide range.
The alleged incidents happened between February 1st, 23rd, and February 28th. Russ would be arraigned on October 12th. Damn, man, that's crazy, bro.
That's what I was like, yeah.
I wasn't aware of this.
Is terrible, but like potentially what we could have with this Alabama dude could even be a worse story, as crazy as that sounds. Because the Porter stuff is terrible. But I mean, Ross, I think he's like 19. So the bigger the gap between 19 and 12 to 16 makes it even worse.
Yeah, so it's like 12. So he could have been with a 13, 14, like any girl in that range. That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that, man. I don't know what to even think about that. That's just, like you said, man. Get a girl your age, man. Like you're on the campus of Alabama, man. There's so many bad 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds on that campus, man. You can't pick and choose one of them girls. Like you gotta choose a girl that's like 12, 13, bro. Like I don't care. I don't care if the dude's at a party and drunk and you're with a 13, 12-year-old, bro. Like I don't give, in that case, liquor is not even an excuse. Like even if he was drunk or high, you don't do that, bro. Like that's kind of like
that sounds like when the rest of the details come out, like how it all happened and everything, whatever. I mean, even so, the fact that the charge is even out there, I can't really excuse any side that he could try to come up with to justify it.
No, I can't.
And it's like he's in a situation that not if, but like when he gets arrested for something like this, like if you go to jail for doing something like that, it's not going to be easy for you in there. Other prisoners and stuff, they don't take kind of to people going in there for doing stuff to kids. That's seen as like beneath them in there. And he's only 19. It's going to completely throw his life away.
I mean, so that's they said Alabama. That's a felony, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a felony charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I in cases I can say, okay, it's consent, but no, hell no. No, you're 12. Nah, bro, you're 19. Yeah, a year off from being legal at the age of 18, but bro, that's like a 12 year. You're in like what 10th, 9th, 10th, 7th grade, I think.
12-year-old.
So at least you're like in middle school, bro. Middle school. Yo, what is going on, yo? Like, bro, if you're that desperate for some attention, man, it's like, yo, There's so many girls on that campus, bro, that are your age, bro. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like as bad as it is,
it's
like
bro.
16 is still bad. But if they
16
tell
is
them
not
like
16. This is not my keep it a J podcast. This is my sport podcast. But when I'm dating a girl 18 plus, 19 plus, that's I cut off at 18, bro.
right. But I'm just saying, like, if they say it's
16 is
16,
like,
that's terrible.
that's
If they come up
terrible,
with like
bro.
12 or 13, it's like, bruh, come on now. That's the worst. Like 16 is terrible. 12, 13 is the worst.
I mean, 19, 16, okay, that's like 3 years off. But it's like, nah. Even that.
Yeah, that's
Even
still
that.
right.
That's just it's a border that you don't want to cross especially a black man, bro. Like, come on, bro. And like you said, man, I don't know. Well, you're in Atlanta, Alabama. I mean, them prison systems are crazy, man. Like, any prison, they don't take lightly to kids and stuff like that.
I made that point about like any prison. Yeah, they like if you're in there with people who murdered people and all this kind of stuff, and you are in there because you did something to a kid, yeah, they're gonna treat you like trash.
That's crazy, man. I didn't know about that, bro. That's kind of disgusting, man. But let me just look at this Kevin Porter.
We can get back to Kevin Porter.
I gotta look up the details of this article. So I don't follow up my words. Okay. All right. So LA Times. All right. So this is from LA Times. Kevin Porter Jr.'s immense talent for so long obscured his issues away from the basketball court. The former UFC star was arrested on suspicion of assaulting his girlfriend, former WNBA player Kaiser Godrich, fracturing her neck vertebrae and leaving her with a deep gash above her right eye during an attack early Monday at the Millennium Hilton in New York. Porter, a Houston Rockets swingman who signed a 4-year, $82.5 million contract extension a year ago, pleaded not guilty to felony assault and strangulation charges at the arraignment on Tuesday. This is a serious domestic violence case. The assistant Manhattan District Attorney said, according to the criminal complaint, she told police that Porter punched her repeatedly in the face, causing the cut and bruising above her eye. She also alleged that he wrapped his hands around her neck, causing bruises and fractured vertebrae. We are aware of the reports regarding Kevin Porter. The last thing you want to do as a head coach is suspend any of your players, but when there's a conduct issue, we have no choice. Why is UFC coach? I'm confused because isn't his coach Ime Udoka?
Yeah.
Because it says that.
Also, he just went to the UFC coach, maybe like to find out about his character, and he just mentioned that. I don't know. That is kind of weird that they just went to him and asked him about.
He said. So the last thing you want to do as a head coach is suspend any of your players, but when there's conduct issues, we had no choice. UFC coach Andy Enfield said at the time. Mm-hmm. Porter sat out only 2 games. Wait, so when did this happen though? Because
I thought it was a recent thing.
Locker room. I'm trying to make sure this is. Some latest. I'm trying to see when back in college, she was suspended at USC for 2 games for conduct issues. In 2020, Porter was involved in a 1-car crash and charged with improper handling of a firearm. As you said, Porter Jr. apparently lost control of the code. He was released in 2020. So this was he signed his deal this year.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he signed his deal last October. So this year, as a signing deal, he's been charged with a felony assault, strangulation. So yeah, man. I just want to look at the article to make sure I got my words clear. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you? I mean, just like most questions, man. Let me go back to it.
Like I said, it's an easy thing for me. And even with
If you're
that,
Rockets
I
management,
think
how do you
Houston's
handle
doing
the Kevin Porter situation?
Houston's handling it the wrong way. Like Houston's trying to trade him. What team is taking this dude on when there's a good chance he could end up in jail? If I'm Houston, I cut bait, release him. If a team wants to sign him at that point, that's on them. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole process trying to trade for him when you know no team is going to give up any asset to get Kevin Porter Jr. Look, I get it. He's a talented player, whatever. But I feel like there's always something going on with him, whether it's on the court or off the court. Because like I said, he had issues at USC. Now he's having issues here in the league. He hasn't even been in the league that long.
The article said that he had a possession of a firearm.
And I think that I think I remember
in the locker room.
I think I remember that one because his draft stock dropped because of some of the stuff he was doing in USC. But now with something like this, it's like they should just release him. Whatever the cap hit is, deal with it. But why continue to have this dude on your team? Look, and maybe that's an overreaction because you'll have some people who may watch this later and be like, well, we don't know all the details. What if she's making it up? What if this? What if that? I don't even care at this point. My whole thing is with these athletes, you shouldn't be put in situations where stuff like this could even possibly happen.
Right.
Because it's not about it happened in a New York hotel or whatever. What happened that could get you to the point that you got so upset that you would punch her repeatedly in the face?
Strangle her
that's like punk moves right there. And I don't get it. Once again, people will be like, well, women can get away with more stuff than men. Well, yeah, that's kind of the situation that we're in, and we've known that for a while. Doesn't mean you don't get to play by those rules. Obviously, if you see the situation, you see Kevin Porter, you see his girlfriend, she's beaten up, he's not. Whose side are you going to take in that? Obviously hers. And I don't know, it just speaks to his maturity. Clearly doesn't have it, so I don't need you on my team for that reason. It speaks to his decision making, which is obviously trash as well. Don't need you around my organization. Houston is trying to build something and turn themselves into a winner. They don't need Kevin Porter on their team for that. And, NBA is not a guarantee that just because you get drafted, you get to stay in the NBA as long as you want. At this point, to me, he's kind of lost his right to be in the NBA. And some people will sit there and be like, oh, well, the league's just trying to blackball a black man, whatever. I don't even care. Because of something like this, he can go. Go play Taiwan with Dwight. Go play.
Well, I heard Dwight is, I think, trying out for the Warriors. I think you saw that.
Yeah. And then he said if USA doesn't pick him, he'll play for Taiwan. Well, go learn the Taiwanese anthem because you're not playing for the U.S. I guarantee that. But Kevin Porter, Kevin Porter needs to play for your natural.
Yeah,
and he probably will. He's probably gonna end up behind bars. But I'm just saying.
I feel bad for Coach, man, because that's his team, man. And I mean, obviously Kevin Porter.
I guarantee Coach would say the same thing.
Yeah,
he's probably done with him.
Yeah. I mean, because I've asked in their group chat like 5 times. I want to answer my goddamn question. I was like, yeah, well, I don't know.
I saw that. I figured you were gonna use it on here, so I didn't want.
I mean, I asked Coach. I was like, "Yo, Coach, like, what do you think about your Kevin? Well, like, what's going on with your man Kevin Porter? Man, he didn't respond to me, so I don't know. But Yeah, like anything with a man and a woman, like when that in those cases, it's kind of touchy because, like, you're not as a man. I mean, you're told, you're raised not to hit a woman, no matter if the woman hits you first.
Yeah, because in the public eye of public opinion, you're never gonna win that fight.
Unless like you're at a bar and like you have to say, "Oh, the girl," but then again, you don't put your hand on a woman unless like
The only one would be
you have
like
like
you'd have to have like a weapon pointed at you, and that was like your only way out of it.
right.
Maybe
And,
you can get away with that, but just getting upset at her and just knocking her out, you're not winning that case, like, in public opinion.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't think that I mean, I don't definitely don't see Kevin Porter in a Rockets uniform. I don't see him, like you said, in an NBA uniform. I just don't think that, like, um, I mean, there's a thing called cancel culture. I think that's he's gonna be a part of that. I mean, even at the press conference about
Technically,
Adam,
Miles Bridges made it back from that because Miles Bridges is in Charlotte now. Well, he's back in Charlotte, I should say, and he dealt with a domestic violence charge as well.
yeah, true. I mean, but I mean, according to the reports, I mean, I don't know what Miles Bridges did or what the circumstances were or whatever. I
I
know it was
can't
domestic
remember.
violence,
Yeah,
but the details of this, like strangulation, beating
yeah,
down
breaking her neck.
somebody.
I think she cracked a couple of vertebrae as well. It's like,
I think she came out and said that,
wow.
I think I think she came out and was like, oh, like I apologize. I mean, I forgive Kevin Porter, I think, or whatever. But come on, like
Well,
this
that
man.
part of it is, a lot of times women who are involved with abuse or whatever try to blame themselves because they assume it's their fault
No,
because of
this is not.
consequences of
I
the
mean, if it's true, I mean, I think it is true because he's getting arraigned. He's getting like in trouble for this. But if reports are of that severity, no, it's definitely not on her. Like it's definitely on him because he.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, as a man, you have to control your anger, man, against a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you don't want to let a girl get on your skin that much, but it's like, to a point where you have to punch the girl like in the eye and strangle her like a WWE move or like a UFC submission. Like, it's like,
Like he could have left the hotel room. He could have easily
yeah.
have done that. Just leave the hotel
So
room.
I'm not sure if he's getting arraigned in New York or is he getting arraigned in Texas. I don't know where he's from, but
Well, I think it was a New York City hotel, so it's probably a New York situation.
oh, that's tough, man. That's tough, bro. That's
Yeah, New York
tough.
City hotel room, so it has to be in New York.
That's crazy,
Um,
man.
yeah.
That's tough for him. But I don't see him. I mean, the Raptors are trying to trade him. But I think that I don't see him. I mean, if I the Lakers or if I'm a team that needs a player, another star, like a team that's like kind of the middle of the pack team, and I see this report, I don't want Kevin Porter on my team. Yeah, he's young, he's talented, like you said, he's still a good player, but it's like when you have something like this,
The only
like
way you're taking him
do
on,
you
you
think
assume
that
he's
do
beating
you
the
think
chart.
that do you think that the Lakers like say hypothetically sign Kevin Porter? Do you think LeBron would like take that? He's like, hell no, he wouldn't like that in the locker room. Maybe he would try maybe like mentor him, being the leader that LeBron is, but I don't think he'll let that shit fly. I don't think any team will, if they have a proven veteran on their team, wouldn't let that shit slide. So, and then he's known to have temper tantrums in the locker room. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, he was a part of that big young core in Houston with they did sign they got uh Van Fleet, right? They got
I feel like even Houston's kind of moving away from that group. They
yeah,
spent the whole offseason bringing in
freaking Green.
random players. Jeff Green, Van Vliet, Dylan
No,
Brooks.
I'm saying the young
And they
Green.
moved some of these young players out. That's all I'm like. I think they're trying to get, because that young group, I think it was just very immature.
Yeah, they had Dylan Brooks, right? They have Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, they added Brooks, Van Vliet, Green. Didn't they add like Plumlee or something? Some other people. Everybody they brought in were veteran players
Yeah.
because this whole group of young guys was not cutting it and was not going to make it work. And Ime, I'm sure, just wanted adults in the room.
I
So,
mean, speaking of adults, he was the one. I mean, he got moved from Boston. I mean, for a
and
certain
that's
reason.
that's kind of the ironic part of this as well. That you know, Udoka got the position because of certain things
So
he
how do
did in
you how do you
Boston.
mentor? So how do you mentor a grown group of men when you were setting an example for in Boston? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And I guess it's just the facts, man. I mean, I don't.
Well,
That's where I was like, damn, like how
I
can he
mean,
mentor these?
even looking at Udoka's situation, there's still plenty of people who kind of are on his side, who act like Boston did him wrong. And because look, I when I heard the story, I hated that because I liked Udoka as the coach. But when I went on, well, it was still called Twitter at that point, but the kind of comments I saw was just ridiculous. It was everything from we don't even know who the woman is to how can Boston do that to him? They're just trying to do another black man wrong. And it's like, what? One, I didn't need to know who the woman was. I don't care who the woman was. It's about the coach doing stuff like that and then trying to hide it. Because he hid it from Nia Long, which that was a whole story because she said she didn't know until it was released on ESPN. That's not the Celtics' fault. That's between you and him. So, and even after that, like Nia Long still badmouths the Celtics for it, which I'm like, I'm gonna need you to kind of move on at this point. But yeah, it's an interesting situation that he's down there. Now you got this Porter stuff, but I don't know. These athletes, man, they gotta do better. And there's probably other stories we didn't even talk about. Because like I said, between Porter, the Alabama dude, I don't know, athletes are going wild these days. I mean, and that's why I guess to kind of even go a little further with it, players like LeBron, Steph Curry, Jalen Brown, Tatum, guys like that, who you never really hear anything about them off the court. I respect that, and those are the type of players that you know I will always root for. Because I know we talked about like the Jalen Brown when he got the big money extension. I'm all for it because even since that, you could tell Jalen Brown is a mature adult. He's smart, and his head is in the right place. He's looking at the opportunity to like change the city of Boston. He's always looking to help out somebody. He did the whole Big Three All Star game because he wanted to help out Ice Cube as a businessman. I can respect all that, but there's too many athletes that are like the Kevin Porters and all that get a bunch of money but never grow up. And unfortunately, that's something that a lot of these leagues have to deal with. So, look, Kevin Porter had his opportunity. I think it gets taken away at this point because he probably ends up in jail. And yeah, you hate to say that, but it's something he obviously could have avoided. Just walk away. Because I don't care if she said something to him or even if she did anything. All he had to do was leave that room, leave her in there, and clear his head, and he would be fine right now.
Right. Yeah, it's a little crazy situation. I mean, somebody, like depending on what they're gonna do with Kevin Porter, they're gonna and it could come down to the NBA decision. Like, I mean, looking at the presser from Adam Silver, he looked kind of disappointed, man. Like really disappointed.
I don't
You
blame
know,
him.
yeah, I don't
He,
blame him either, man.
he
I don't
just
blame
got
him.
through the whole John Morant stuff, and he's got to deal with this clown now.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Adam Silver too, man, because he seems like he really wants to let these players be them, but it's like they just keep doing these kind of stupid things that then make it seem like Adam Silver is just soft on the players and he lets them get away with everything. I feel like he was just really trying to empower them to be their own person, but now it's like it's blowing up in his face all of a sudden.
Right. So I guess I think we had a couple more topics for NBA. Ooh. I think we always do that. Look up the. When I look up the schedule. Okay, so we have so Giannis, man. Giannis said that came out and said that he doesn't like working out with NBA players in the all season. He likes to focus on, which is understandable. I mean, he's works out. His work ethic is respected. There's stories where he's contemplating on leaving the Bucks if they don't really, make a big move in the playoffs, or because he wants to win. I don't know if he's saying this to get a bigger contract with Milwaukee, or he's just trying to, I believe he's a winner. He's definitely a winner. They said that it doesn't matter if I'm on. I like to win. If I'm on a winning team, I join them. So you think what's your opinion on that? Like, do you see Giannis staying in Milwaukee, or because I know Chris Middleton he's been hurt.
I think that's the name that's kind of centered around all of this. I feel like Giannis is just putting it out there for Milwaukee management to be like, don't think we can just continue to just run it back with the same team year in and year out and feel like just because we won it a couple of years ago that we could win it again, or that I'll just be comfortable in just staying here because you just want to keep it all the same. I think Giannis sees that Middleton's breaking down, Holiday's getting older, Lopez is getting older. Who else is on that team? We got Bobby Portis, but Bobby Portis I think is still kind of young. They're going to have to start changing this core of this group if they want to stay competitive, because Boston's not going anywhere. You have Miami. You've got, well, I guess if Philly ever figures it out, you have Brooklyn Brooklyn has a whole bunch of young pieces that they could turn around pretty quickly. Indiana's coming on. The Knicks, if they ever probably figure out Julius Randle, they could be really good. So the East is not getting easier, and Giannis recognizes that. I also saw a lot of people saying that, once again, because LeBron fans can be kind of sensitive, talking about if LeBron made the statement that Giannis made, he'd get killed for it. Okay, but where Giannis is different, and you said it like in the beginning, Giannis doesn't work out with other players. Giannis isn't about the whole buddy-buddy thing. To Giannis, if you're a Milwaukee player, I'm cool with you. If you're on an opposing team, I don't like you. That's where it's different. A lot of these other players, they work out with everybody else in the offseason, become buddy-buddy, and then they try to team up with them. Giannis isn't doing that. Giannis is just looking at the situation of Milwaukee versus everybody else. If it gets to the point where Milwaukee starts slipping, then he'll look to go somewhere else. He's not trying to team up with some buddies and some random on a team or anything like that. And I respect that about Giannis. That's why I'm a big fan of his. He's doing it kind of like the old school way. It's Milwaukee versus everybody else. I think he ends up staying in Milwaukee. I find it hard to believe that Milwaukee's not going to do everything they can to make him happy. So they'll probably involve him in a lot of moves and ask him what he wants to do. I just think he's just putting pressure on them to not get comfortable. Make some tough decisions. Yeah, it might be tough to trade Middleton or something or move on from him. But you probably have to, because he just hasn't looked right since the injury. Yeah, Brook Lopez might be a fan favorite, but maybe you need to move on from him because he's getting a little older and the game's kind of moving a certain way that Brook Lopez tights may not be needed in a couple of years. That's all I think he was doing. Just lighting a fire under Bucks management to make those tough decisions. Even though I know ESPN and everything's going to try to move him to LA or Miami because they do that with every big name free agent. But I'd love to see Giannis stay in Milwaukee and be
Yeah, I
in
mean,
Milwaukee for life.
no, I definitely agree with that. I think that, like, I mean, I like Giannis, man. I like his work ethic. I think that he deserves to be on a winning team. That well, who's their coach now? Because I know Budenholzer is out, right?
It's Adrian Griffin, who
Adrian Griffin.
apparently Giannis wanted there.
Yeah,
So
I'm
that's
not
probably
sure.
a good first step.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about him because I don't know much about Griffin. But I
He
know
played for
that.
the Celtics, so I remember him.
Oh,
He
okay.
wasn't like a star player or anything. He was one of those who was like great defensively. He was a guy who made a name for hard work.
Gotcha.
And as a coach, I think he coached under Nick Nurse, I believe, in Toronto the past couple of years.
Okay.
And it's seen as a guy who kind of knows the game. And the fact that Giannis kind of established that he wanted Griffin to get that job is probably a good start for Milwaukee to kind of show Giannis that they were about winning. But I think the product on the court is the next point because it seems like they're going to run the same team back this year.
Tricky.
It's tricky because if Middleton does not improve, they're going to run into the same issues where, what was it, 2 years ago, they had that series against Boston and they lost in 7 games. And I think Boston still matches up with them really well. I think Miami, we'll have to see with Miami because of the whole Dame and all that, whatever. But Miami's another team that kind of matches up well because they kind of beat them up physically. I think Milwaukee's kind of had their way with like Philly and a few other teams, but Milwaukee's not the most dominant team in the East anymore.
Yeah. I just like the fact that, like I like Giannis. I have faith in him. Is he on a contract? Like, what is his contract over this year after this year?
He has like 2 years left on his deal.
So why is he even teasing for it, like testing the market out if he has 2 years left? That's the thing I'm worried about. Like, that's the thing that
I don't know if it's something where like they go.
It's like he's tired of
year. Yeah. They finish like 3rd or 4th. They try to run it back again. They finish like 5th, and he's going to let them know like I don't like the direction that we're going in. I'm pretty sure he has multiple years on his contract left. Let me see.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I mean, like actually, besides that,
less than that.
Huh?
He signed through 24-25, so next year.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Well, technically, I guess 2 years.
Giannis to the Lakers, man. Oh, that. I mean, but I'll say I'd probably at that time LeBron would probably be out of LA by then. But
probably
if they can
be by then.
But it's like I don't know. Like besides that championship that they won, where it was again Giannis is. I mean, he went off against the Suns. No, I'm sorry. Wait, that was fine. Yeah, it was the Suns. Yep. And like I kind of feel bad for Giannis, man, because like obviously he's had some injury problems and here and there, but like Chris Middleton hasn't been there. He's been hurt. He's been inconsistent. I mean, their best consistent player probably is Drew Holiday. He's a good defensive point guard. I mean, Bruce Lopez is there, but it's like, who is their supporting cast? Grayson Allen? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
they have a good team, though.
I mean,
they're in contention every year. It's only that, Boston's been able to beat them. Miami's been able to beat them. Those are 2 other really good teams in the East. If Milwaukee goes up against the Knicks or Philly or something, they usually have their way against them. So it's not like Milwaukee's fallen completely off or anything like that. It's just Miami's just Miami, and Boston has come up lately. That's it. Even out west, they match up pretty well against most teams out west, outside of maybe maybe Denver because of the Jokic factor, and then I don't know. I don't even know who else out west you might pick against like over them if they met in the finals because they handled that Suns team that got there. Maybe the new look Suns, but there's questions of whether or not the Suns could even make it to the finals with what they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, Lakers, Bucks, interesting matchup there. But I think most people probably would pick the Bucks as the favorite. So yeah, I just think Giannis is just setting the stage for Milwaukee how to make tough decisions. It's kind of like you said. Yes, they're a talented team, but there's still room for improvement with them because you should be able to find maybe somebody who's more consistent than Middleton is right now. Even Holiday has had some issues in the playoffs from game to game where he'll look great one game, then he'll kind of struggle the next two or something like that. I don't know. It's crazy. Like if I look into next year, I would still have Milwaukee as a top 3 team in the East with no problem. I think that's good enough. If you're top 3, you make it to the playoffs. You never know what happens at that point. And as an organization, that's all you can kind of do is build a team that's competitive. Milwaukee's still competitive.
Mm-hmm. So like this is early prediction. Do you see Giannis staying on Milwaukee for the foreseeable future, or do you see him? I mean, making the stir in like free agency in the coming years.
I think he stays. I just
You
I don't
think
know.
he's on?
I don't see him as a guy who's gonna want to crave like a bigger market than Milwaukee. I think he's cool in Milwaukee. He's not like he's an international player. I feel like international players have a different mindset than like American players. He's what? He's like part African, grew up in Greece. Not like he was some high prize prospect coming over here. He was a skinny, 16 or something year old kid that came here, and people were like, "This guy's gonna make it in the NBA." And he transformed his body. He's definitely loved in Milwaukee. I think he finds a way to stay. But I also hope that Milwaukee's organization is not taking advantage of, the fact that that Giannis seems happy there. Like, yeah, listen to what he's saying right now and make improvements to the roster.
Yeah.
One ring is not enough for Giannis. He wants more, and I can respect that.
Right. Any other big news I had? As far as NBA, let me see.
Dame is still in Portland because
I saw he deleted a post about being a Heat legend and he deleted it or whatever or something like that. Like
right now, I can't remember the last player who's done so much damage to their rep as Dame has done in one offseason. Before this offseason, Dame was like a fan favorite. Everybody was like, they loved his loyalty to Portland and everything like that. But these months in offseason, he's shown this side of him that's like, he's basically just a diva who just kept his mouth quiet for all these years and is now wanting to talk about it. That's how it's coming across to me, and I'm done with him.
mm-hmm.
And I keep telling people, all his attention he's getting, he's not even a championship winning player. He does not swing. I don't think if he gets to Miami, it makes them more of a championship contender than they are right now, to be honest with you. I don't think Dame is that type of player. He's good for Sports Center because he hits, deep threes and stuff, but he's still an undersized guard. And I don't think he's a championship level player.
Mm-hmm.
Same with James Harden.
Yeah, I mean, oh wait, is he still? He's still a free agent, right? James Harden, still. I guess he would say.
I mean, he still wants out of Philly, yeah, but I, I don't look. I know even less about James Harden's situation than Dame, because I think Portland can move him. It's just whether or not Dame wants to play there. I do not know where Philly could send James Harden right now. I I have no idea. So they might be just stuck with him, which we've seen this story before. If James Harden's forced to play somewhere he doesn't want to be, he completely checks out. Which then you have to worry, how does Embiid feel about that? Although I can now make the same argument that Embiid might not be a championship level, championship winning type of player either, with some of his playoff performances.
Right. So we'll definitely see where Harden and Dame goes. This where the saga ends. I think I saw Curry, AD, LeBron. I think some other players, star players, were thinking about or
playing the Olympics. Yeah.
playing Emma. How do you think about you think it's gonna be? You think that should be like LeBron's last hoorah Olympics? Not like how last hoorah, but I mean the last time he was in the Olympics was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I don't have a problem. I don't care either way if big name players want to play in the Olympics or don't. Some people don't want to see guys like LeBron in the Olympics. I think some of them are Lakers fans who are like, we don't want you necessarily playing extra games over the summer because we're going to need you for the regular season. I understand that point of view, but if LeBron wants to play for Team USA, who can necessarily tell him he can't? I mean, I would love to see probably younger stars playing in the Olympics because it gives them
they can have a mixture of old
opportunity to
mentors
make a name for themselves.
Yeah, true. But if you're in those games where it's playing against those tough teams, I'm saying you want your veterans out there. But obviously you want the younger guys to get to shine too. But it's you can have a mixture, to have the stars and then the future stars. A little bit mixture. You can have LeBron, Curry, KD, AD. Then you can have Boncaro, Austin Reeves on the bench. You can have SGA. Well, no, he's Canada though. So
yeah.
So some of these players are expected. Well, isn't Boncaro Italian or Italy? Well, if you think about it, I think he chose to play for the USA.
Yeah, I think he has dual citizenship.
So some of these players are not really USA. The ones that are, well, Austin Reeves, he's American, but some of these players like Jamal Murray, he's in Canada. Say SGA, Canada, Wiggins, Canada.
Yep.
So it's definitely something that I think that LeBron and Curry, man, that's a good team. That's a good team right there. But depending on when they decide or if they decide, I'm not sure when the deadline is to declare for the Olympics or whatever, or choose, because I think it's in the next year.
Olympics are next summer, so it's probably
in a couple months. Maybe January.
When do countries have to submit their roster? It probably might be in the spring. Because the Olympics I think are in July. So yeah, it might be something like April or May. You might have to kind of know who you're sending over there at that point. Or it could be June for all we know, right up to that point. But I think it's early July is when the Olympics start, I think.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we didn't talk about in the NBA? I know it's still early.
Yeah, there's not really much NBA.
Really much. Yeah, man. So, with that being said, I guess we could end the show. On the Olympic talk. With that being said, yeah, this was a good show. I appreciate you for hopping on again, co-host, man. Been doing this for like almost a year and a half now, maybe. I think of knowing each other. You be my co-host, so I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts, man? Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say? Like, week football is coming up, week 2.
Look, I'm excited for it. College football as well. I'm loving the kind of the excitement behind Colorado because Deion's doing it a little bit differently than some of these big name programs would. I think Colorado's starting to rub some teams the wrong way. That's coming across as kind of arrogant, and I actually love it. I think too much of college football and their fans are all about being traditionalists and expecting it to be done a certain way. I am so tired of that. I always want to embrace something new. So, yeah, I'm at the point where I would love to see Colorado in like the playoffs and just have people lose their mind over it. Because look at the Colorado State coach like coming out and saying his stuff. It's like, bro, you're at Colorado State. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm expecting Colorado to probably blow them out because Deion has already said it's personal. And his players seem to really kind of follow Deion's lead. So I think they're going to put it on Colorado State, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of it because, like I said, I like what's going on in Colorado.
Yeah, I do too, man. From seeing the first game of Colorado against TCU, I think that I'm not gonna say it's scripted, but I think all these teams all these coaches, all these players are talking crap, and they're gonna get steamrolled by Colorado. I think it's just like a domino effect, man. I think that because
I don't know that necessarily because they still have
we're not okay, not every team.
Those are gonna be tough.
But we've seen the teams that teams have. We've seen the teams that have been talking crap, and then like TCU didn't TCU talk about them. I know a lot of people in the media did. A lot of people didn't say, "Oh, Colorado was like a 0-17, 1-17 team."
I don't think TCU said anything because TCU has gone through so much turnover that they weren't really sure what they were going to look like.
Right. With
I know a lot of people thought Nebraska was going to give them trouble, which look at Nebraska's offense.
But apparently, Colorado and Deion, they keep receipts, man. The people who are talking now, now Colorado State's coach said, "Oh, when I'm talking to grown men, I take my glasses and hat off."
I know where he's coming from, though. He's just trying to give his players like a little bit of an edge because he knows going up against Colorado, they're a big underdog, and he's just trying to pump his team up. So I'm not even mad at what the Colorado State guy did, but they're probably gonna get blown out anyway. But why not try it? Worst thing that can happen is you get blown out like everybody thinks anyway. So who cares?
Yeah, so isn't that like a Saturday night game?
Mm-hmm. I think it's like 10 o'clock Saturday night.
Okay. Yeah, when people talk crap, obviously they're gonna talk crap because Colorado was kind of like garbage last year, but Deion, I like that culture, man, that he's bringing to the team, man. Travis Hunter, man, like he can play quarterback and receiver at the top tier level. The guy Shador Saunders, they've play my darn thing music, right? Like he brings that style, man. Like most people hate, the way he kind of did the whole well, not me or not you or not coach or whatever, but majority somewhere split on
the state stuff.
Yeah, the whole the HBCU and everything and all that. bringing his luggage back to Colorado. I mean, hey, he's building a culture, and I dig it, man. I'm not a Colorado fan whatsoever, but I can support them, man. Like in their movement, man. Like, I mean,
It also
obviously,
only works if they win. If they were
yeah,
losing, this would just
yeah.
look
I mean, you have to be able to back your talk up,
ridiculous. Yeah.
back your talk up. But I mean, Dion, you know, he said there was yeah. I mean, so there's been you know, like the cameras in the meeting room in the off season and saying how like, oh, if you don't perform, you're not playing. You know what I'm saying? So he's bringing maybe that coach that was there. That I don't know who the coach was last year, but maybe that coach wasn't really holding their players accountable like Dion is now, and he's treating it like an NFL team where it's like, hey, if you underperform, you're not playing. Next man up. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the quarterback that's his father, but Shador Stevenson. Not Shakur Stevenson. He's not the boxer. Shador Saunders, like he's talented, well. Man. He's talented, man. And like, and hey, if he underperforms, he's probably gonna bench him too. You know what I'm saying? To be fair. If he underperforms. So it's like, but Travis Hunter, man, I mean, he's a grown man getting picks, getting nice catches. They got some good running backs. They got some big old D linemen. I like the culture, man. And it's only week 2, man. It's only week 3 now.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, man. Like him or hate him, man. Dion is doing this thing, man. So play my darn theme music. but that'd be
just let him be him. It's like
let it ride, man.
He doesn't have to be Nick Saban. He doesn't have to be Jim Harbaugh. It's like you can allow coaches to have personality.
Yeah. So. And I like that, like Colorado is keeping receipts on these teams and like, in the media, because like obviously, new coach, new system, new atmosphere, African American coach at that. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some talk of, oh, can he do this at this level? I mean, he's proven he did it at Jackson State, just at an HBCU. But I think that, like, I like how they're keeping receipts, man, because like I know, like when Shador Saunders was in the interview, he was like, yeah. I like him in interviews, man. He's very cocky, but he can back his talk up on the field. So, and that's crazy. Can Travis Hunter be like that Shohei Ohtani of the NFL when he gets drafted? Can he be like that? Could he play cornerback and receiver? I don't know if they're going to allow that. I don't know if you can do that, because he can play him well.
There's no rule against it. It's just, will NFL teams want to expose him that way? That's a lot to ask to play wide receiver and corner. That's, double the snaps and everything, 17-game schedule. That's grueling and physical. I don't know if he'll be allowed to do it. He might have to choose one as a primary position and then do the other one like part-time. Because I mean, the Patriots have Marcus Jones, who is a corner and plays wide receiver as well. He just doesn't do full-time both of them.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm not sure who's the last person who played like dual, like cornerback and wide receiver. And who was the last player? Like Dion? No, Dion was just a straight or was it a cornerback?
No, Dion did both.
Oh, so Dion did both. Okay, so maybe he can.
Yeah, Dion's done both. Like I said, Marcus Jones. There's who I was just thinking. Well, Julian Edelman did. Edelman, out of necessity, had to play cornerback for a few games. So
it's not like if you're in it, it's rare. You have to be really, really, really talented, like, or like trained, or like, good at that level.
Yeah, because for the most part, most teams have their set cornerbacks and then their set wide receivers. It's usually,
that's what I thought.
It was like an injury issue, then you might see it. That's how Edelman did it. The Patriots were down so many cornerbacks that they kind of had to throw him out there, and he actually played pretty well as a corner.
Yeah.
And Dion, I think, did it more early in his career. He played both sides, and then later on it was more like cornerback and kick returner with the occasional wide receiver play. So it can be done.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. If you don't have anything else to say, any more to add, and you can end the show. This is a good show, man. Like I said, you can follow me on Twitter at JJL Sports Talk 23, and follow the page on YouTube, the JJL Sports Talk. My podcast page, the JJL Sports Talk on Instagram. What other thing? I mean, I'm on YouTube and Facebook, and then Twitch, JJL the Great 23 on Twitch. I do streaming and streaming games and stuff on there too. So check that out. If you want to give the viewers your socials too, they can find you.
I mean, I kind of wish it was just like one name across all. It'd be a lot easier. I mean, I guess the obvious ones would be you could do China the Bit on YouTube. From there, you see the links to everything else. I also do Twitch. It's been like a couple of weeks since I streamed on there. I got people talking about, oh, when are you streaming again? So you can check me out, Kaiser Gamer 84 over there. Hopefully, I'll get back to streaming this weekend at some
You should,
point.
because you're gonna be playing with me, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You think what I did? I mean, I was greening them shots, man. Like
That's literally been my issue with 2K and trying to play like the rec or park or something. It's like I didn't want to be that guy who like kick it two every time and they can't green their shot and they just brick and stuff. But I'm like, if I'm playing with people I know, then I'm like, I could just be a rebounder and defender and be fine with that. Because I see those clips of people who are playing, they'll be wide open, they don't get it, and they start like raging and stuff. I'm not that person because I don't trust my shot yet. So yeah, I'll definitely be streaming like when we play 2K. I'll probably start streaming.
Been dying to play with me. I know Brett. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun, man. Because now the 2K is adding.
I feel like with just playing the rec and stuff, like you just have fun with it. Like these people who are like the league in there, every loss means they're out of the playoffs or something. That's
like with me with 2K, I'm kind of like that dude that doesn't like losing. Especially when I'm playing with like,
yes,
it's like because like the records and stuff and like
but I'm saying like people like that I understand, but it's the ones who they'll take like 40 shots and then they'll pass it to you, you'll get one and brick it, and then they rage at you when they lose, and it's like, but bro, you're the one who took most of the shots. Those are the teams, like, that's why I was like, without the crossplay, I would be going online by myself, playing with a bunch of people like that, and it wouldn't be fun. Like, if I'm playing with people I know, I think it's going to be a much better experience. So, yeah, I can't wait to, stream 2K. Like I said, Madden, I've streamed that before. Definitely have fun doing that. And a lot of FIFA and EA Sports.
It's going to be coming out. Yeah, EA and UFC coming out, too.
I've never gotten into UFC games.
Oh, that's one of nice, man. Yeah, Dylan. He's a big UFC guy, so he's been trying. He's been advertising the UFC 5. But yeah, I mean, with me, like 2K, like I mean, it's fun. I just don't like losing, especially when I'm with randoms and like I'm waiting for y'all to get your builds right, which I understand. Like it takes time to get your build up and get your VC and everything, but it's like, what am I gonna do when I'm just like bored and want to play and like there's randoms just like kind of like now I got PS5 players and Xbox players now, so it's like so now we have this beef where it's like that if you're playing with a PS5 player, the PS5 player might not want to pass the Xbox player, like and vice versa. So it's like I don't know, but it's cool that they finally added that into the game where we can play now. But yeah, like when it gets to the Pro-Am though, rec, I'm competitive, man, because obviously they added that in 2023 it used to be double XP in the rec only, but now I think this Saturday they're doing an event where it's like they're adding in the game a double XP for Pro-Am. So I mean Pro-Am, I'm one of those players where I'm very serious about like building my team, and plus as you'll notice, the different latencies and like the rec, Pro-Am, and park is different. Like in the park with my point guard, I was greening those threes, but like in the Pro-Am, the shot felt so quicker, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's good to get your 5 in there, practice, or get 3 per AM going. I know I made a point guard. I think Brett made there's a coach coming in now. Brett made I told him to make a lockdown shooting guard. I think you made a power forward, Brett making. I think coach is a center, and I got my boy Watt be the power forward. So I mean, we have our 5, but it's just like it's about chemistry, man. It's about chemistry. So I can't wait to get started, man. Get this roster going because can't wait. But yeah. With that being said, man, this is a good show, man, and we're out.
See you guys.